show starts in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, go.
Hey everybody, and welcome back to the Crypto Night Show. Your host Superman in the house. Took a day off yesterday. Wasn't feeling too good. Plus it was Good Friday down here, down under. But back today, and we're going to talk about a lot of different charts today. I thought we'd have a nice review of a lot of projects. I hope you guys enjoy it. Obviously, we're going to be focusing on generally most of the popular or top tokens as well. We're going to look at the charts, some of the news items out there. A few of those, we're going to look obviously at many that are in the video description, which I forgot what it was, but we're going to get into all that. But let me go to X and pin the show to the top. Now, if you're watching on X, don't forget to hit the repost button. It really helps a lot there. And if you guys are also on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe and smash the follow on X. You know, guys know what to do. And of course, hit the bell for future videos. Now, what are we looking at? We're going to be looking at PRVX, Hex, PTGC, 9mm, Pulse. We're going to be looking at a lot more than that, though. We're going to look at the Switch aggregator from Brandon, and we're going to be looking at a lot of the stuff from Peacock coming up. It is Alpha Drop, man. Honestly, who is this team? Who is this team? We want to know. We want to know. They're certainly fanning their feathers, so we're going to get into all that as well. Now, we've got some of the farms doing some good stuff too, guys. We've got True DeFi out there, Emmett Farm. They're doing some great stuff out there. It's just incredible leading the way. Obviously, there's some pretty innovative ones out there as well. Function On, Donnie D working hard. Who else is working hard out there? Psycho from Nexion and Neon building out their massive DeFi ecosystem. There's a lot of players out there doing a lot of fun stuff, so it's going to be fun to get into all the details. Hope you guys enjoy it. Let me know in the chat there. Get in the chat there and let me know what you guys are liking. Also, hey, thinking of about people building out. You know, Frank White there runs the Pulsechain ecosystem map. I think it's probably the best one out there, Frank. You can let us know in the chat, but it's probably the most comprehensive. There are a few others in some of the data sites, but I think you're probably the most active in keeping it up to date. And so that's PLS Start, right? I don't know if you can post the link in the chat there, but that is pretty cool. Maybe we'll look it up later on ourselves. Welcome to the show. We've got Hexvader as well. What time zone? Yeah, I'm a bit late today, guys, because I don't want to say, but I just had to make sure that I was ready for the show. I look a little disheveled, let's say that much, but that's life, right? A little bit disheveled this Easter weekend. What else did we? Hexvader and House that. Hey, gang, good to see you, Hexvader. Hope you are doing well. Yeah, for sure. I don't know where that came from, but it's a bit crazy today. How's the weather outside? The weather outside's quite nice, quite warm out there, and it's kind of cool here in the studio. We've got a studio set up. I don't know if I told you that, guys. We're now in a studio setup, but I haven't really showed that off yet. So it's coming. All right, let's get into it. What else we got? Monster Thread coming up next Monday. So in a few days' time, it's Saturday here now. So on Monday, we've got the Monster Thread number 48 is coming out. Pulsechain's #1 newsletter there. It is a professional publication, and it is 48 weeks in the making. We're not far away from 1 year, guys. 1 year, can you believe it, celebrating the Monster Thread? I know MVS Crypto out there is very excited about it, and we've got reaching new milestones with it all the time. And we're in a bear market, guys. We're in a bear market. Imagine what a bull market's going to look like. It really is fantastic. And, of course, we honor and tribute Richard Hart in that every single week, right? He's the lead story. He's the founder of the chain, and he is out for glory. So we're excited about that in the future too. All right, let's get into it. As you guys know, the #1 influencer covering Pulsechain virtually every single day. It used to be solidly every day, but I have been taking a few more days here and there for different reasons. But essentially, we're streaming every day, and sometimes we do 2 or 3 shows a day as well because we love Pulsechain and crypto and everything else. Why not? All right, without that, let's get into it. Let's get into the show. Let's kick it off with the crypto majors, but we're going to be dealing mostly with Pulsechain today. We've got a few highlights to point out over the weekend. And let's do that now. So let's get into the crypto markets, and we can see here on CoinGecko that we got the market cap, and I'm going to refresh this because it often gets stuck. We got the the coin market cap here on CoinGecko is at 2.38 trillion, up 0.5%. So we've got a little green day. We'll take that. We've got Bitcoin at the moment is at $66,830, up 0.7%, up 1.2% for the week. Ethereum at number 2, up 0.2% at $2,049. You know, the battle for Ethereum over 2,000 has been pretty good, right? I think it's been pretty good. Just shows you, I think, some of the impacts of the digital asset treasuries, particularly Bitmine immersion, probably playing a big role in helping the price stay up with the increased purchases every week, certainly contributing. XRP up 0.7%, $1.31 right now. We've got BNB up 1% at $588. We've got USDC, let's pass that. We've got Solana there up 1.4% at $80.18. Number 7, Tron at number 8 is up 0.2% at 31.5 cents. We got Doge there at number 10 at 1.1% at 9.1 cents. So those are the main plays. And as I often say, you know, the main themes we're looking forward to the bull market ahead is, tokenization, obviously, kingpin there, stable coins, and of course, we're also looking at AI to AI payments and also creative payments. So there's some of the mega things we're expecting moving ahead. Another one, of course, which is something that LibertySwap is doing, is the privacy solutions, right? That's a big mega theme for this bull market. So I don't know if they're the big 5, but I think they're pretty close to the big 5 that we're expecting out there. If there's any others, let me know in the chat that you think of that are mega themes for the adding value to the blockchain. All right, so top performer in the last 24 hours has been, drumroll, is Solana up 1.4%. And I do have a drumroll sound effect, actually. I don't hardly use it, right? Well, let's see if it works. Let's go. There we go. It's ticking away. We can do it. All right. So the best performer in the last week is Tron up 1.7%. Actually, no, I'm corrected. Ethereum is actually the best performer last week, up 3.1%. You know, and Bitcoin and Ethereum really being held up there with the digital asset treasuries as well. They're definitely supportive, and the ETFs, generally speaking. So good stuff there. Top performers in the top 100, I should say. We've got Allegrand at up 50% for the week, 9.4% today, guys. Allegrand. Mincore number 2 up 26%, 7.5% today. Render up 16.7%, 3.3% today. Jupiter number 5 up 15%, 3.8% today. And finally, the good old Zcash. I can't forget the old Zcash, up 12% there, but down 0.2% today. So those are the top 5 in the top 100. Let's see what else. We've got top 1,000 gainers. Resolve USR up 153%. Ontology Gas up 81%, and EdgeX up 37% there. Those are the top performers, top 1,000. Trending overall is Pudgy Penguins, so Tom Lee's favorite. Siren and BitTensor, of course. BitTensor, they're getting a lot of excitement with the old NVIDIA interview, right? So that is pretty interesting. It's continued to get excited. So that's kind of where we are. Let's jump over to the big news that we had out for Friday, I think it was. And we had the US jobs report, and it just tripled expectations. And of course, you guys know I've been fairly bullish about Trump's economic policy. It's really the kingpin, and even Biden benefited from Trump in 45, right? So whenever there's a little setback or a little confusion, the enemies come out with the knives. Have you noticed that? They come out constantly, and they're feeding the news with this nonsense. You know, they always want Trump to lose, and if Trump loses, that means the West loses, right? Because we know what the liberals and progressives do to the West. They're destroying the West, handing it over to demagogues and everything else. So Trump's success is really common sense success, if you think about it. So one of the big things that Trump's doing that the Democrats and people like that don't do, they don't do supply side economics. In fact, they've had a war against supply side economics with the old net zero, right? So they not only do they get more power and control dramatically, but they also help destroy economies in the West. So Trump is doing the opposite of that. He has great supply side economists, and they are expanding supply, right? The US jobs report just tripled expectations, adding 178,000 jobs when only 59,000 were expected in March. So here it comes. It's pretty cool, and I've been backing this, right? It seemed inevitable that Trump was going to get some good reports in manufacturing. And what are we seeing in the manufacturing index? I don't have that up at the moment, but I think we're seeing the last 3 months start to be expansionary over 50 on the index, right? So I think it's been 52, 53, and we're expecting that to rally up. And of course, we know from the past that correlates very well with Bitcoin. And so we're looking for crypto to run too. And by July, we'll have a new chair of the Fed, and therefore we'll get probably dovish expansionary monetary policy with lower interest rates and probably some more money printing. We'll see how that goes vis-a-vis particularly the Iranian war as well. Some people have that, but we'll see what happens in that front. But that is kind of cool. Everything is kind of heading in the right direction. CNBC says this is a big number. And of course, the experts or the so-called experts are in shambles. And we're talking about a lot of the liberal progressive commentators, and they are always wrong, right? Remember, before Trump was in power, they were always talking about managed decline and China's going to beat America and take over the world. And we love it. We love it. We support that. You know, they're all crazy nut jobs. And we had enough of that for decades. We had that through the 2000s, through the 2010s into now. So we're really getting a good chance of recovering. Even in the 1990s, we had a bit of that. Although back in the 1990s, it was all about Japan, right? Remember that? The Nissan way. Do you guys remember that? Nissan way. And of course, then Japan, of course, had its own problems. So it looks like China is kind of in that zone now. They keep reporting, 3-4% growth, but really it's probably zero or negative. And so they could be even in a deflationary cycle. And they're obviously having a lot of leadership problems as well. And of course, here we are. So that was great news, guys. Fantastic news around that. And so we'll see how that impacts the markets going forward. Now, obviously, we've got the Iranian conflict going on. The Strait of Hormuz is really the kingpin there. And that's actually quite a complex issue. Obviously, surrounding that little 21-mile narrowest part of the Strait of Hormuz is only about 2 to 4 kilometers, so 2 to 4 miles, I should say, of actual shipping channel. And of course, surrounding all that coastline in Iran is all those mountain ranges, right? So, America could take it, but it would be, quite a bit of operations there. They'd still have the issue of the random drones and things. You only need a couple of drones to start pegging the ships. So it is a pretty complex environment, despite the impressive power of the United States. And so that's going to be interesting to see that. Now, what they can do is almost a scorched earth policy, which is kind of what Trump has been indicating, and that is around taking out all the infrastructure and divide and conquering. You can help start to divide and conquer the regime. It's already showing signs of weakening, but that's where Trump's been threatening, right? So if you want to go next level, Trump's saying, I'll go next level, and that's kind of what he's doing over the next couple of weeks, right? Is I can take out this bridge and separate you out into those regions and start breaking down communications, because we can block your communications, do lots of different stuff, and they can try and do a divide and conquer strategy, which is probably pretty much what the Trump administration is going to do there, and of course try to get more reasonable regime people to take over and get regime change, right? That's sort of the efficient play, and that's probably where they're heading, as opposed to trying to take the Strait of Hormuz completely. And of course, they can go after all the money, oil and gas and stuff, and pretty much, as Trump said, bomb them into the Stone Age. Now, we did see overnight a couple of, I think, a plane and a helicopter was shot down or had issues, and of course, there's one pilot got rescued, one pilot is still stuck there. So we're going to keep following that as well. That adds a little bit of drama as well to the play. So that's kind of some of the stuff we're having right now. But economy looking really good. Trump indicating 2-3 weeks. And of course, he does seem to be progressing with some faction in the Iranian regime that wants to keep their oil and gas assets, keep their bridges and everything else. Because if he does hit those, of course, it has an impact on the people. Now, Trump is very, very aware of the people. 80-90% of the people are against the regime. And so the regime is fighting a battle on two fronts. So even though there's more people than, say, Iran and Afghanistan combined, in those cases, they were largely supportive of the regime, or at least tribes and factions within that regime. Whereas here, you've got the Iranian regime is actually facing the people, so it's fighting a battle on two fronts. So you can see there's a lot of problems the IRGC has that maybe you didn't have in Afghanistan or Iraq, right? So that's a very important aspects there. Now, obviously, there's border lines with other countries, all sorts of politics going on there as well. We've already seen some conflict in Iraq, and the CNN media person get kidnapped there. So there's a lot of this stuff happening. We're going to watch that over the next week or two and see whether Trump can make a deal without bombing them all back to the Stone Age, because obviously he's got to balance out the people's resistance movement, and they'll be working all these chess pieces all at the same time. So we've got to just wait and see how it all lands in the next couple of weeks. Obviously, the military side of things is going very well. And of course, now they're basically on a hunt and destroy. They're after these rocket tunnels, right? These rocket cities. But the problem that the IRGC has is they have lots of traders in there, because they're either working for Mossad or they're working for the resistance movements inside Iran that will say, hey, look, here's another rocket tunnel over here. You can come and blow this up too. So they've got a little bit of that going on. So we're watching that over the next 2 or 3 weeks. All right, so that's kind of where we're at now, but economically looking absolutely amazing there. With the old jobs report. Now that brings us into Bitcoin. Bitcoin at the moment holding up right in the middle of this consolidation range here. Pretty cool. We had that the 6th of February. We had got all the way down to 60,000, sort of down towards the bottom of the bonding curve. There is the bonding curve floor, which is probably around 53K. So that's always possible. We could do that, go down one more level, and then bounce back out of that pretty quickly is what I would suggest if we do that. But at the moment, we're sitting right in the middle of the channel of what we've been trading through, between the bottom there, 60K, and essentially, maybe around about 72K there with a little blip to 76 here. So we'll keep watching that over the next 2 weeks. Next 2 weeks will probably continue to be volatile. So April there continuing, right, maybe right in towards the last third of April, let's say. So we'll see whether a deal is done, all that sort of good stuff happening in there at the moment. Now, that's not to mention, there's special forces in there. There's the Marines Expeditionary Forces. There's apparently SAS from Australia secretly gone over there. No doubt New Zealand's SAS has probably gone over there too. I mean, there's all this sort of stuff going on to do specialized operations, right, to accelerate leverage, right? It's all about leverage there. And so we've got a lot of stuff happening there. So at the moment, Bitcoin, 66,800. We've got the 50-day moving average at 70,489 and the 200-day moving average at 84,406 on the daily. Let's go to the weekly, because people like to look at that time frame. And you can see here we're just below the 200 weekly moving average. So we're definitely going to want to look at that too and get back over there, right? We have pierced through there in the last week. But we want to get back over that 200-day. We certainly don't want the 50 week. Sorry, we're on a weekly, I should say. We don't want the 50 weekly there crossing over. That would be a death cross on the weekly there. So we're looking forward to this just bouncing and doing a U-turn. So we're going to need some green candles within the next couple of weeks to make that happen, right? So, and that is possibly where we're going. So we've also got the Clarity Act moving through, right? And potentially we have maybe a 50-60% chance that will go through, probably to the upside, with that coming out of the Senate Banking Committee, and of course, going through the rest of the process. I think through the House and then the President, if I remember rightly, House, Senate, and then President. I think is the process that go through, and they want to get that done probably by the 21st of May. I think that's the date. So 21st of May. So we'll keep a lookout for the Clarity Act. That'll be the final full regulations for the crypto market. Obviously, we've got a pretty friendly SEC and CFTC regulating commodities and securities, and of course, giving us a lot of clarity and interpretation. So that's really good for the current administration time. But for more permanent regulations and to open the floodgates to all the institutions and corporates, we really need that Clarity Act to get through. And maybe the trade-off is a stablecoin yield for DeFi yield. And that's hopefully where we go through for that. So we'll keep a track of the Clarity Act, and that could help us also give us the U-turn to the upside scenario, right? So let's have a little bit look where that's Bitcoin at the moment. Let's jump over to the power curve. So we've got a few indicators here on CoinGlass. So you can see here on the 200 weekly moving average heat map on the we're just almost bouncing on the 200 WMA. So we're almost about to bounce there. We had a few bounces here before in the previous rallies, right? The 2020 rally, we bounced off that 200 and rallied all the way up to banana part of the curve. And up here as well, we also had this bouncing 2015. We bounced off that and got a banana part of the curve in 2017. So, and likewise back here in 2012. So we have not really had that, have we? Haven't really had the banana part of the curve. Yeah, 126,000 was pretty good, but we still really haven't had this hyper move here at all. And so we're looking for that. Well, we're about to touch the 200 moving average again. Are we about to go? We're pretty close, I think. April looking good, and maybe even May, and we're away. So kind of cool. I think we're looking pretty good for the setup. Let's have a look at a few other things. We've got the Bitcoin Power Law. There's a few versions of this, but essentially you can see that we've got the Power Law floor model, and then we've got the Power Law here. So the Power Law is the brighter one at the top, the sort of the turquoise, and then the green one is the Power Law model. And you can see we're heading towards the bottom of this. And so the Power Law there, we're getting pretty close. Power Law floor, this is what I was talking about before, is 52,778, and we got down to 60, remember? So if we did go down another leg, it's probably where we'd go to, and none of this 20, 30, 40K, that'd be a pretty extreme event. I don't know what we would need for that, but 53 is definitely possible if we do, get something particular, negative news or calamity in crypto, or some massive market maker doing something unusual. So there we go. That is where we are. I think we're looking pretty good getting that bottom in, as you can see. So we've got the 200 weekly moving average in our favor, maybe within the next sort of month or 2 months. We've got the Power Law looking pretty good for us too, to have a bounce and a rally. So we'll keep a lookout for that, and so on. So yeah, I think looking pretty good there. All right, so that is some of the trying to find the bottom type charts. Let's jump over to Ethereum. We got Ethereum at the moment at $2,049. We got the 50-day moving average at $21.47. The 200-day moving average at $2,710 up here in orange. So we're really just slightly better than Bitcoin in the range. Have you seen that? So Ethereum, they're doing quite well. I'm expecting Ethereum to dramatically outperform Bitcoin moving ahead. And so, I'm bullish about Bitcoin, but I'm really hyper bullish about where Ethereum's going. So we're at 2049 right now, sitting just above the middle. Middle is probably around about 2,000. So we're just above that at the moment, and we've got to get up about another $100 to get up to that 50-day moving average. Let's look at the weekly like we did for Bitcoin. And weekly at the moment, let's have a look, is all the way up here. The 200 moving average is at 2,567. That's in orange. 50 is at 2,844 up here on the weekly. We certainly don't want these really cross, because death crosses not much fun, and we want to try and get up here as quick as possible. So maybe in a week or two we could see some big power moves. Also, maybe Bitmine Immersion does a bigger buy. So we've seen Bitmine Immersion obviously buying, increasing from 45, 55, 65, and then last week 75,000 ETH. We know where they've bought at least another 45. So we could get next probably Tuesday get another announcement of some pretty big buys. At least 75K is what I would expect, at least, and maybe a bigger buy coming up where they do a 150, 250 or something like that. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But they've got to balance that cash that they've got with the purchases, right? So they've got to keep waiting for the MNAV to get up one plus. Obviously, it's a discount at the moment. I think it's about 94, 95, somewhere in there. So they want to get to over 1-to-1. Then they can go at the market, raise more money, and then buy more, raise more, and then build their cash up and keep that cash going. So if you're wondering why they're not just trying to buy all at the price of Ethereum right now, when they were buying up at 3,700, 4,200, etc., is because they've just got to balance that ATM to cash position as they move forward. But I think they're very much on track for this year, getting that 5 million target quite comfortably. And then we may see maybe Bitmine Immersion, Tom Lee decide to go to 10%. I know 12% kind of was the maximum that Tom Lee expected for the network effect. But 5% definitely looks like on the cards this year. But you know what it's like. Once they get to there, they sort of like, well, let's go to 10%. Let's go to 10. That would take a bit longer, but it also helps drive up the price and the valuation of the company, right? It turns very quickly. Once you go from 2,000 to 10,000, instead of you worth $10 billion, you're worth $50 billion. That's a pretty valuable company, earning billions of dollars in staking yield, let alone all the big monetary system you're building on top of that as a market maker. So they're going well beyond that, of course. Moving into institutional and retail adoption. That's where they're heading, and that is the big value add on top of the digital asset treasury. It is a game changer. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now on the ETH. I don't have any particular news outside of that at the moment, but we're going to get into Pulsechain, which is the main topic of today. 25 minutes in the hour, not bad. We've got a few people in the chat though. Hex Down Under, happy Saturday, sir. Happy Saturday to you, Hex Down Under. Off to enjoy the ocean before weather gets cold, says Hex Down Under. Nice. Goody says 10 million PRVX, a good moon bag. Yeah, I think that's not too bad. I mean, it's could do quite well. yeah, I mean, if if it does any X's, big X's, then yeah, 10 million's not going to be too bad. What would that be about at the moment? About maybe $500-600, $600, something like that. So yeah, that'd be pretty decent. All right, we know what happened to Hex when Hex did a 10,000X with people with like $100. So yeah, that's probably reasonable there. All right, yeah, probably Richard just shaking out the weekend hands right now and letting that go. All right, so let's jump into Pulsechain, shall we? We've got a lot to talk about in Pulsechain, and I would really love your comments and your feedback about Pulsechain. Any projects in particular? No, keep away from any scammy ones, of course. But anything that's decent, half decent, get in the chat there. We might look at that as well. This will be a bit of a free for all live show today, which is a lot of fun. Not endorsing, nothing's financial advice. Not endorsing anything, of course. Frank White says happy Easter or almost Easter, says Frank. Yeah. All right, so Good Friday in the United States today, right? It is Saturday down under, but Good Friday in the United States and in the northern hemisphere, I guess in the middle too. All right, so what else at the moment? We got day 1059. Let's do a refresh of this to make sure we've got the latest and greatest. We're going to have a real fun deep dive, I think, into the Pulsechain projects. And we got Frank White says we got new stuff on PLS Start. Yeah, we'll try and bring that up. I think I've got that by default, so hopefully we'll bring it up. Let me do it now so that we'll make sure that we don't forget. PLS Start, I think. PLS Start. Yeah, there we go. PLS Start. So we'll bring that up and we'll have a look at that later on. All right, so day 1058. We've got Pulse at the moment at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 zeros. 728, guys, up 0.3%. So not a lot of love happening with Pulse at the moment. Your chance to pick up big bags of Pulse is still here. Where will the bottom be? Have we already had it? Has it been done? Or are we just a slow grind, a couple of weeks consolidation, maybe in April, and then off to the races after that? A market maker could come in, guys. We could see a God mode candle. That could come in at any time, and that could, with net buying, could change the game. Maybe we get a 30% sell on a God mode candle. We'll see. Maybe we get just a little inching up, just a little slow inch up, and that is the best way. Maybe we inch up a little bit, and then God mode candle, right? Just to lift that floor, lift that floor price. That could happen. We got Pulsex at the moment at 50574. Wow, Pulsex is so damn cheap right now. It is down 0.85%, so just under 1%. And we got the buy and burn sitting at 8.8% based on GoPulse numbers at 1.71 trillion. I always note that Pulsechain Stats has this higher number. I'm not sure the differential there, but those just as a contrast there. Ink token at the moment is at 32, let's say just 33 cents, down 1.37% today. So it's the biggest loser today. And we've got the supply essentially fixed at 56 million after that inflation cut by Richard Hart. But the one thing I'll say about this, I'm not really sure outside of farming, and there are a lot of farms like Emmett Farm and other places that provide yield for ink. There's no direct use case for ink at the moment. What will happen with the MasterChef contract for PulseX? When will that be given over to the people? Will it be single-sided staking? Will it be third-party apps, or at least Richard Hart apps supporting that? I don't know. These are all things potentially chess moves in the future from Richard. So we'll just keep, have to wait and see. Hex at the moment. Now, Hex is getting something funky happening, right? Funky happening, particularly EHEX. We'll talk about that in a minute. But Hex at the moment is at 13 and a half, 13, let's just say 1300th of a penny. And it's up 1.5% at the moment. Though it is the best mover today. It's only up 1.5%. It's kind of nothing in crypto. Might be good on the stock market, but not so great here on crypto. We've got EHEX though at 0.0065. The ratio is 1 PHEX equals 2.06. So just over 2 EHEX per PHEX. So about 50-50, let's say. And we have seen some unusual activity on EHEX, haven't we? We've seen, 4 million addresses now have been airdropped Hex between, 1 Hex or something and $1 worth of Hex. And that's having some impact. So we saw CryptoSolve do a little bit of, on the first day, when I think we had like 1 million or 2 million, do a little bit of analysis on there. And we did actually see some people interacting and buying Hex and things like that. So, it's an interesting strategy. Often a lot of people, obviously, they'll check the contract, say, is this the real Hex? And then if so, then they might buy some more. And so I think we're getting a little bit of a sneaky little branding thing here. It's kind of the low-hanging fruit. So, yeah, it's possibly going to help lift Hex a bit. And of course, if we have tens of thousands more buyers, then suddenly the price just starts going up pretty aggressively, right? So yeah, keep a lookout for that. Some interesting strategies going on there. All right, let's jump over to the gas prices right now. We got 700,000 beats, pretty low actually. That's pretty low. Normally we're doing about 850 these days. We're up 2/10 of a penny for a Pulsechain swap right now. The validators, so look, 50,369 pretty much stopped now after losing two big validators. One of them was Validator X, wasn't it? And I think one of them was Vouch as well. So they took about 1,200 or so validators each, and one of them sold, and the other one apparently, I think from last update, was still holding. So in their pulse. So that's kind of where we are there. Bridge, 69.5 million. So we're down about 500,000 from yesterday. Getting back, took us a few days to get to 70 mil. Now we're back down a little bit. And so that's pretty much it. That's where we are right now. We've got 4 liquidity forks operating, USDL, PXDC, HexDC, and of course Ink Dollar, or Ink Printed Dollar. And we've got 2 more coming apparently, right? We've got Vault 369 multi-chain. So we're moving multi-chain now. And these are all single chain, backed by PulseX, Hex, and Ink. And so are we going to be getting, we're going to have Vault 369 from Fast Abdul, and that's going to have PRVX. So we're going to have all the 5 Richard cores there going into PRVX there. The other one, of course, is eHex. We've got Hexflex coming from Dipcatcher, right? He's been holding off because of market conditions, and that's probably why a lot of the projects that we've talked about in the past that haven't launched are just waiting for the sentiment to turn, since Pulsechain's been in this mega downtrend, finding the all-time low. Where is the all-time low? Have we done it? Is it here? Are we about to take off in April, May? People are looking for that sentiment change. So that's kind of where we are right now. We've also got potentially Coinwell coming up in the future. It's a little bit in the gray right now, but we're going to keep a lookout for that as well. You guys know I like to be always a cup half full, and see where we go there. Always wishing people to succeed rather than fail, right? That's the thing. You've got to be in that club, right? Wishing people to succeed rather than fail. So we're looking forward to that. And it all adds value to the old Pulsechain. Now, hold on. Why have I talked about stablecoins today? Well, not only about those 2 new projects potentially coming, multi-chain, liquidity forks, and of course PRVX, also the fifth element, as it were, of Richard Hart cores, but also we've got potentially another stablecoin that could be, or at least some, maybe not a stablecoin new, but maybe a stablecoin. How am I going to say this? Well, we'll get to it in a minute. We'll get to it later on, but stay tuned for that. And I don't know, we're probably the first one to drop the alpha on this. You guys can decide whether it's alpha, but I think it is pretty exciting. In fact, may eclipse everything else we've been talking about. So we'll come up to that soon. All right, so that is, remember that. We're going to footnote the old stablecoin now. Now let's get into Pulsechain trending. So this is the deck screener Pulsechain default view, and it's on the 24-hour trending. And we can see we've got some other tokens here. I'm not going to be talking about a few of these, like Buy Now. We're getting new tokens launched all the time. So we've got that up there at the moment. Sometimes these are honeypots and things. I haven't really looked at Buy Now, so I'm not going to be talking about too much. It is the top performer at the moment, but just take care out there. Now, Zero Knowledge Printer, that's from a well-established developer. That is from Kairos from Emmett Farms, and essentially leading the way on the farm technology and innovation, and doing a lot of collabs too with other teams like True DeFi as well. So excited about where he's going. Now, obviously, very smart move from Kairos. A big shout out to him. Very fast mover on the old PRVX token. And look, this token's still holding up here and looking good. And the fact that they've gotten early on PRVX, if Richard Hart is the helps with the market making, or at least some large players, maybe wallet number 2 in PRVX doing stuff, then this is going to bode well for ZKP, the Zero Knowledge Printer, to do well. And at the moment, it's holding up like a badass right now, and the volume there is just ticking away decent. Let's have a look. The volume on the main pair, about 6K a day, and it's just ticking over, printing out. That's what it's supposed to do. You don't want to drop the volume too low, of course. You want to keep it tuning, but so far it's kind of doing the job, right? Kind of doing the job here on ZKP from Kairos here. Now, what else I was going to say? We're going to go to pulse ratio and have a look at this. Now, basically, you buy ZKP. I think you stake it and you earn PRVX, right? That's kind of the basic idea. We got quite a few of these kind of ideas, but this one is attached to PRVX and got out, pretty much at the beginning of PRVX. So first mover advantage there, and the ratio there 43 pulse on the weekly. Let's go to the daily here. So that is the chart at the moment. So looking really healthy. Actually touched 50 today. 49.993. How funny is that? 40. I'm sure the market knows. The market knows there, but down 43. We'll keep a lookout for that. Market cap at 317,000, so still pretty cheap. And presumably, at first move advantage, if they can keep the awareness up, they seem to be doing, then this could keep going. So ZKP is a revolutionary token powered by the staking Richard Hart's protocol PRVX. Stake ZKP to earn PRVX. 5% buy and sell tax is distributed to ZKP. So that's pretty much how it works. Now, I was going to say, but basically you just have to hold it, right? You don't even have to stake it, actually. Stake ZKP. Oh, you do have to stake it on the website, no doubt. Now, one of the things I was going to say about this is that, PRVX is in beta. So as it moves out of beta, it's going to get a lot of pickup. This could prove well there. Once again, speculative, but good move on the first move advantage there. We'll keep watching out for that. Now Hex on pump tires up 21% today. So Hex has actually been moving a little bit today, despite the rest of the charts there. Hex was the best performer, and we got Hex on pump tires also moving. The members only, or Bitcoin Hex, I should say, moving there, and we're at 000219. So that's ticking away there on the weekly charts. What else we got going in there? Yeah, big move today. Look at that bit of volume coming in. Remember, there's a small retail play, so only 20K liquidity. So you can easily move it $3,000 or so volume, pushing this higher there. So for those that are in this niche player, doing well there on the old pump there. Let's what else we got? Got SCADA from Nuke the Supply. So Nuke Supply, of course, one of our most innovative tokenomics teams. Really love the Nuke Supply tokenomics that they did. And their SCADA project launched on top of that, and that's at 14% today. Not too bad there. Liquid Loans, the third biggest sacrifice protocol after Pulsechain and PulseX, $52 million. That is up 13.7. We have seen a little bit of a movement in the old Liquid Loans. And let's have a look at the chart. It's just off the bottom. This is the weekly chart. So if you're wanting forever down chart, right? But we want to look at the pulse ratio, right? Because this is a potential leverage here. Let's have a look how that's going. So you can see we're actually really off the bottom at the moment. We have bounced down to 1 cent. We're now at 2.5 cents almost. Sorry, let me rephrase myself. We're in the pulse ratio here. So we're down at 1/100th of pulse. And we're down at 2400th of a pulse now. That's kind of where we are there. I think that's right. I think I said that right. Anyway, 0.0247 for if I didn't get it right. But that is the play where we are on the old Liquid Loans. We'll keep a look out for that. So this is slowly now, as you guys know, a lot of these ones, these liquidity forks, these DEXs, DEX aggregators, a lot of them won't probably get re-rated and then get dramatically re-rated once Pulsechain does a reversal and gets an uptrend. Rather than forever mega downtrend trying to find the bottom, we go up the other side and all these blue chips get re-rated, right? They're the ones I call them static. They're not really, they're waiting for Pulse to move, but we've got a few dynamics like LibertySwap that can move at any time because they're rapidly rolling out DeFi and expanding their ecosystem with a pretty big awareness about them, right? So they've got this in that sweet zone, as it were, but they're actually going beyond Pulsechain into all the other chains and other platforms, which we're going to talk about soon. It's really quite exciting. Time Dividend, our other big kraken on Pulsechain, is Time Dividend. They're at 8.7% today. They obviously benefit from all the static values about Pulsechain reversal, increased volumes, all that sort of stuff, increased value. But really, they're building out a lot of extra stuff as well what's inside their app. And you can see if you look at the pulse ratio, the market is pricing them well, right? Obviously, it's getting priced up relative to Pulse going down, and it's holding up pretty well here at 114. Not bad, eh? Not bad. So that's looking pretty good. We're going to log all that as well. So really, they're not far away from a breakout point, are they? If they can keep consolidating. This is the weekly candles, by the way. That's how long Internet Money's been around. And of course, Pulsechain's main wallet, I'd call it. And they were up to 116,000 downloads. They're on all the three app platforms, about 190 countries, just about every country in the world, and of course 40 chains. So they're doing pretty well there. And of course, they continue to add in new features and keep building it up, including looking at LibertySwap API for privacy, no doubt. So we'll keep a lookout for where they go with that. And they do they're on a lot of platforms trying to get multi-chain attention, and they're doing a pretty good job. And they got one of the biggest X accounts in the world that supported them recently, and that was I just forgot the guy's name, but it was pretty cool. All right, so let's jump over to some of the other stuff that's happening. Smorg is up 6.7%. Zero Trust, part of the Peacock trifecta, is at number 9. It's up almost 5% today. And they're building out like a lot of specialist DeFi. I think they've got about 10 or so projects. They're pretty cool. And I think we saw them in the Monster thread. Was it last week? I think it was Monster number 36 and 36. And so they're ticking away here. Let's look at the weekly chart. That's the weekly chart for them. So just coming off the bottom range, really, you can see it's been fairly stable in US dollar terms, but the pulse ratio, probably more interesting. And look at this. That's pretty great. Remember, they also got a big Peacock pairings as well, fattening up the liquidity. But look at the pulse ratio here. This starts looking pretty good. So yeah, I mean, if you're in a project that's crap, right, and Pulsechain's going down, then your pulse ratio is going down too, and you get hit twice, right? You get hit on the US dollar price, and you get hit on your amount of pulse you got. So if you are in a bad project and you see that chart's going down, then you know you picked the wrong one, right? You picked the wrong one there. So at the moment, we've been seeing quite a few of these ones actually doing pretty well against the pulse, and the pulse ratio going up offsets the US dollar decrease going down because you got more pulse there per token. So in this case, 0 is worth 566 pulse at the moment, and the market cap 1.4 million. Now they're building out, like I say, I think they got over 10 DeFi projects at different stages that they've got out at the moment too, part of that trifecta. I'm not sure whether they are people in the LibertySwap team or who they are, but they certainly are part of that trifecta group. Now we've got Peacock itself. It is up 4.65% at the moment. So let's have a look at that. We'll go to look at the main pool. Number 10 is Peacock, and the market cap here on deck screen is 10.8 million. But man, this thing is probably going to have a massive re-rate at some stage. And so keep a look at it. This is the Kraken of Pulsechain, and these guys are rapidly building. So you see here, I've got on the chart here ZKX wallet. You guys know I always mess that up. I go KXZ or XKZ or something. I always turn it around. But ZKX wallet there, hopefully that's spelled right too. I don't even know if I put that in there correct. But we got an airdrop in April, right? So Peacock holders. Now, we don't know the exact tokenomics, but probably the bulk will go to Peacock holders. And then, of course, the team will have stuff for LP pairing and all arbitrage and all that sort of stuff they'd like to do. And they are capital efficient. They're very good at liquidity management, and that's stuff that sits behind the scenes that people don't talk about much, but they actually get pretty high yield off a lot of that stuff. So they're pretty clever there. So you can see here we're on the weekly candles. We obviously broke down through this little triangle here, but it looks like we may have bottomed out there at 1.1 cents. And of course, we got a lot of resistance around 2 cents. Look at that, heaps for weeks and weeks and weeks. But we ended up bouncing here at 1.1. Currently just below 1.3 cents right now. And it looks like the market wants to push high here. We got a lot of big news coming out for LibertySwap. So it's going to be pretty exciting to see that. So keep a lookout for that. So should we talk about it a little bit? Let's do it now, shall we? So let's go to some of the, we got $0 printer there. I don't know how I got to that, but let's go into some highlights here. So we got a little bit of a summary here with some of the Peacock. Now I will go into their posts as well, but I've got a little summary here. So some key highlights from recent posts. These are between April the 2nd and 3rd. So yeah, pretty exciting where this is heading. We got Big S. So they put this big teaser out about Big S there. Now, obviously people say, you mean sacrifice? Sacrifice. But no, Big S here. Who wants to sacrifice at the bottom of the market? Well, apparently a lot of people did for PRVX. But we got, and then the market went down even further, right? It was a catalyst for that, I guess. Big S product stablecoin protocol upgrade. This is what's suggested here, teased as this product is ready to deploy. And we are expecting it this weekend, guys. We're expecting it this weekend. So the market's probably a little bit behind where this might be heading. But, typically you might have this launch maybe within in the week. You might have a re-rate on the card. So, we can see that Peacock price at the moment. What's going to happen in the next few weeks? These guys are about to roll out a number of very alpha products as well. So these guys are not slowing down. So we got with a visual of Tether. Obviously I talked to you about the liquidity forks and the stable coins earlier. What is going on here? So a visual of Tether coins flooding like a dam into Pulsechain, implying massive liquidity, or a Tether competitor. What is happening now? Now, we've also known in previous posts that they were teasing about a stable yield. I think it was at least a token yield. This is where we were talking about we wanted them to go, was into some of these things. So we're now in the next phase of LibertySwap with yield products coming. And I suggest we're going to probably get a couple of them is where I think we're heading with this. So keep a lookout for that. So a dam on the Pulsechain implying massive liquidity or a tether competitor. The account called it the big S product and joked about someone taking over Tether's business, not them directly. On April the 3rd, they posted almost there, hopefully today. So we're pretty much this is where we are right now, right? And plus a protocol upgrade time. And I'm excited to earn some money and take care of the flock, referencing the old peacock, the official token, of course, for LibertySwap. Follow-up replies from the team, 2 more weeks at most, and hype like so big, so huge, so giant. Plus Trump, it's going to be huge meme. It looks like a short delay from the weekend's target, but still positioned as very soon. So they are working overtime to get this big alpha product. This is, and we've got the wallet coming too, right? The wallet's coming as well. It's pretty insane. These guys just keep rolling out top tier stuff, and it's multi-chain, right? Multi-chain influence. So pretty awesome here. Wallet updates explicitly mentioned as happening this week alongside the big release. So I don't know, guys. I think that Peacock's probably sleeping right now, even with being one of the best performers, top 10 performers today. It could be explosive moving forward. People are going to probably get taken off guard if it's anything like a yield stable or something like that. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Now, broader context into April. We got the next week could be a big one with exciting updates. Second week of April, another major feature. The third week of April, exploring a yield product, safe and sustainable earning for users. And this is kind of what we're looking forward to at the moment. Now, we've also got the wallet token, right? So the wallet token was going to be, as we understand it, a staking for the DAO, potentially earning fees as well. So we'll have to see how these two products, assuming they're two products here, land around some sort of stable coin. But big liquidity was the key part here. This is what we need, right? Big volume liquidity, accessing to that. We've also seen them talking about other platforms listing the outside of Pulsechain ecosphere and big players there with that as well, and sharing advertising as well. So this is what we want. We want to start laying these bigger blocks on top, bigger blocks happening and beyond Pulsechain. This becomes a bigger ecosystem. And this is how we play with the big boys, is by just stepping up. And then more people, bigger players get attention to it. And they go, man, these guys are offering an integrated solution, massive DeFi ecosystem, bigger liquidity, frontier DeFi, and it just slowly gains attention, right? So this could potentially really be exciting. And maybe this is the path that LibertySwap and Peacock will become the top 50 meme coin as well. That itself is another catalyst. So we're going to watch this. Now, it's not going to happen tomorrow, but it's something that they're building every single month. They just keep rapidly innovating and adding a lot of products. And really, it took off from the beginning of the year when they put in place LibertySwap V2, and that allowed them to basically hook in any DeFi. And we've seen refinements to that as well. One thing I do like about LibertySwap is they want to make it easy for use for the retail book. And that means they're trying to make it easy, especially the privacy solution, which is a big part of what they're doing. They're at the frontier of privacy offerings. And with this wallet coming out, I think that's the game changer. And and they're going to have yield products as well with big liquidity, stablecoin. It's just a dream come true, really. So we'll keep watching how this is going to evolve over the next week, next month. But man, this team just keeps continuing to drop the alpha, doesn't it? Very, very exciting. So we've got big wallet updates explicitly mentioned as well happening this week alongside. So we've got a lot of cool stuff happening at the moment. Very, very, very cool. Now we're going to quickly check on their X account as well and see what they've got to say there. But pretty cool stuff happening here from these guys. So let's just pull this in, and you can see they've been teasing a lot about the ZXK wallet, which I always get wrong, but they got this in the house there connecting as well. So you got the connecting up to different apps. Remember, they're gonna have all the apps there auto loaded. That's gonna be pretty fun, and they keep buying the token as well. Let me just scroll down. I want to get back to one of the DEX upgrades here. I'm going to jump down here. Yeah, so finally we can make SafePal work seamlessly with ZKX wallet. So obviously you're going to be able to get into those solutions as well for security. But it's not the one I want to look at. Here was a good one. So interesting. Looks like Hyperliquid picked up on ZKX wallet right away. Feels like something might be aligning for Pulsechain assets. So very, very cool stuff happening there. Obviously Liberty Hyperliquid there is really taking over some of the TradeFi market already. We already saw that with oil and gas, where traditional companies couldn't get exposure to their oil position and risk management. and so they ended up using Hyperliquid because that was active and able to do covered positions and all that sort of stuff. But they took a bit more risk using Hyperliquid, but it's worth it because they get the chance to actually position their overall security with that with oil, and so we saw that, and that was a big pickup. Just shows you the future, what's going to happen with 24/7 stuff. We got look we got look good. It says we got obviously different things here. Log in with email. ZKX wallet sitting in there, right, for Hyperliquid connecting into their trading site there. So pretty cool. So lots of cool things happening in the old wallet space as well. But what is this yield stablecoin thing coming up? Exciting to see what that will be as well. Let me just scroll back down here a little bit. Yeah, so this is some of that tease around the S thing. Next huge news for Liberty team is our announcement of our S. Sorry, friends, we need more funds to buy a coin. So that's kind of cool. Just a few days, another product will be released to boost trading volumes for Liberty products. Many servers on Pulsechain and other chains will integrate this product to increase our volumes. We're optimistic and hopeful. So this is kind of cool. Many services on Pulsechain, obviously maybe having chats in the background or automatically ordered. But this other one here, other chains, this is where they're heading, guys. And we're excited about that. So kind of cool. It's going to be very, very bullish, I'm sure. They're just slowly building, guys. Just building upon building and getting more liquidity through. Pretty cool. And this was a big teaser, right? It would be so funny if ZKX wallet and peer extension worked flawlessly with PRVX. We wouldn't need to install 2 browser extensions. So that was pretty much a big teaser there too. They're also going to have smart transactions available as well. So it's cool with transaction simulation. That'd be pretty popular. So we've got some cool little snippets there, isn't that cool? Look at all the chains too. I don't know who these teams, man. This team's like crazy good. It's going to be so much fun, guys. All right, so what else do we got? Dress books working. So just showing a lot of different features there. Some of the apps or popular apps already loaded. Networks, categories, favorites, etc. Kind of cool. And it looks like they're going to be on some of those, right? Let's get on some of those, particularly around volume trading. So this is kind of cool stuff happening here. All right, so really cool. I was trying to find something else down here, but that's kind of, I think we might finish there. So, all right, so that's some of the cool stuff happening there with the old LibertySwap. Peacock there at the moment sitting just below 1.3 cents. The ratio, though, is starting to climb a little bit. It's been up and down, but yeah, it's got up to 1788, came back down to 1468 on a wick yesterday, back up today at 1763. And the all-time high over here is back on the 25th of February. It was about, a month or so ago. What dates are now? Just over a month, maybe 5 weeks. And that high ratio was 2031. So we're at 1762 now. We've gained back. We wiped out. We went down all the way to 1328. Pulsechain and PRVX, of course, pulling us down, but then back up again. So keep a lookout for that. Could be pretty stellar. 10.8 million market cap, still pretty cheap though. Super small. Let's go to coin market cap quickly as our last sort of run up here on Peacock. And this is the key, right? So we know they put all the documentation in for Peacock to get re-rated based on market cap and not 24-hour volume. So let's have a look at that, where they're ranked right now. They're currently ranked, let's see, where they're ranked. Where's the ranking on this? Peacock. Is this on the right view? I'm not sure if that's, we've got bullish there, but I don't have the ranking on this. Where's the chart? I'm not sure where the chart's gone on this. Peacock. Might be on the wrong view or something. Let me just refresh this one more time. Maybe on the wrong view here. Yeah, normally it's the chart here. I'm not sure why I've got the news page. I'm not sure why we haven't got the chart picture here at the moment. Let me just type in Peacock again. We'll start again here. Maybe I'm missing something there. Peacock. Is that the one I'm after? No. That one. Let's try that. See if that brings up the right things. That's coming up with the brief there. I'm not sure what's going on here. I was hoping to get the ranking here, but the rank's normally around 4,300, so we're probably still around that zone. I'll see what I fix up next time. So I don't know what's going on there. All right, so that is LibertySwap. Let's jump it back out into the rest of the markets and see where that's going. So that was number 10, 9 and 10 now on the old LibertySwap. We've got Top Hat at the moment from Crypto Coffee. That's up 4.7% at the moment. That's also got a big peacock pull as well. So, a lot of the peacock ones being probably dragged up there a little bit. We got ALGO Hex derivative up 4.6%. UFO from PTGC up 4% as well. PTGC DI pair, often the leading pair there, up 4%. And then we've got Hex starting to move a little bit too, 18, 19 up 4%. So Hex getting a bit of a rise there. Hex, obviously, relatively super cheap, could do some pretty magical stuff, right? Could do some magical stuff indeed. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Once it does move, market makers come in. It's away, right? And people, they'll cry later, say, "Man, I could have picked up so much Hex back then." It's all like that. But where's the bottom? Have we had the bottom in? That's the question. And we're going to go back, have a look at the pulse chart later on. Pump tires, we got that at the moment, 3.4%. And a lot of Hex pairs here, 24 to 28, or Hex, or 29, or Hex pairs there. Then we get into some of the PRVX pools. We got Remember from OG WebChef up over just under 2.5%. And then we got the PRVX pools here. So we're going to zoom in on that quickly. Let's find the big pair. This is the USDC one down at number 37. That's up almost 2% at the moment. So is the bottom in for the old PRVX here? Where are we? So we're on the 4-hourly chart. We're just coming off the bottom on the 4-hourly chart, getting some good momentum. And we haven't really had a big lift in volume. So that's still a bit of work to be done there. Want to see some volume come in. But that's still not too bad. On the daily, we've got obviously our RSI print now, so it's still printing at around about around 49, I guess, just under 50. And look, we're getting a consolidation in here, aren't we? Looks like it's had its sell off here, had its big pump, euphoria, having sell it. Market maker came in, Richard Hart's post on that on X. Now we're getting a bit of consolidation here. Obviously the PRVX is trying to find a level that people are happy with, and they can move higher from here. So we're getting pretty close, I think. We could see a breakout in the next day or two. We'll keep a lookout for that. RSI doesn't really tell us much, but the 4-hourly there suggests that we can move higher. The only thing is we need a bit more volume. We're getting a little bit more volume today on the pair here. And remember, there's 4 main pairs and then all the third-party pools. So what's that? 3 million plus the liquidity by my mention, maybe 3.5 million. So that is ticking away. Actually, I wanted to go to the longer time frame. We can't do longer time frame. We can do daily. Let's go daily though. We've just started printing the moving average. Look at that. The 21 day just started printing. So the 21 day is all up at 8,000, let's say. I'm just rounding to up 8,000. So that's the 21 moving at the moment. So there's a bit of a gap between the 21. Obviously that would be hyper bullish getting back over that. And that is at 30% gain. So it could be a reasonable 30% gain there when it breaks away. Let's go to the market cap, because you guys know I was kind of saying that I thought the market cap relative to Pulsex and Pulse and Hex should be between 60 and 75, probably with a bias to the upside. And here we are, just skimming above it all the time. So pretty crazy. We've been around 67 or so back up here. So we'll see. Or 75. We've been around 75 a couple of times. So we're just skimming at the top there. So that's actually played out pretty well. That was a kind of what do you call it? Not an educated, but a substantiated guess. I don't know. That's kind of just based on a reasonable test. Let's call it that, a reasonable test. Come up with our own benchmarks. A reasonable test there that, it's still in beta. We still don't have mass use case. Pulsechain's massively used. Pulsex is massively used. But, this has still got to play out, the operational adoption, etc. And so we're going to see, we've already seen, obviously, the ZK printer. We obviously got LibertySwap looking like it's going to be an early adopter. And so, it needs to get that use case. Now, obviously, LibertySwap could be quite a big step in adoption and so forth. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But anyway, that's where we are right now. And I've just got to lift that up a little bit because it's a little bit below the line there. So we're just above my range. And we get this blue stuff here, this shaded area is at least this part up to here. Let's call it up to this day on the 19th. This here is 4-hour chart, by the way. This here is all speculation and FOMO. It's all speculation. Market maker came in, right? Market maker came in. I'm trying to remember who came in here, right here. He came right here, and that was when Richard Hart posted out. So that was on the 17th there at 10 o'clock at night or something, my time anyway. And we got big FOMO. Wasn't that cool? So after we had that market maker come in, it was pretty glorious. There was a rise, and we could take it to the top. there was a pretty nice rise of 84% inside a day and 20 hours. So, that's when you make money, right? But remember, you don't need a 3x or a 10x. You don't need a. If you want a 10x, and then you can do a 5x and then do another 5, you're going to 25x, right? So you don't need that. So if you get another 2 on 5, then it's 10, right? So you don't need to try and be too greedy. You just need to be right a lot. You just need to know where to switch into, right? So and there's a lot of opportunities there. I think there's still quite a decent amount of opportunities to be able to play that game quite nicely, right? 5 5s are 25 times 5 is 125. So you can pretty make a lot of money in crypto if you're good at getting the right projects at the right time. All right, so Nostradamus, not the Nostradamus traders. I don't know, is that the way it goes? We got 77.5 million now on the old PRVX, and that's looking quite good at the moment, probably for accumulation. So yeah, not financial advice. Do your own due diligence, all that good stuff, but certainly looking positive there. So we may see that flip to the leaderboard soon, maybe in the next day or two. We'll keep a lookout. What else? We're going to scroll down here as well. Let's see what else we got going down here. We've got PRVX pool. Let's keep scrolling. Vouch at the moment is down, up 1.5%. Obviously, let's have a look. I don't know if we've had any update on Vouch. Should we have a check? At the moment, we're at 935,000 on market cap. Let's look at the price, though. We're on the weekly candles, so we're right down at the bottom here. And, of course, it has been affected, I think, by participants, let alone the downward chart for Pulse. But the Pulse ratio holding at 1.33 at the moment per Vouch. Should we have a look at the X account and see whether they've got any upsides or insights there? Let's have a look here. I think the last big validator that sold at 1200 was ValidaX, which is the other big public staking protocol from good old Haunted, wasn't it? Haunted was the one doing that. For those that are not familiar, Haunted was way back at Liquid Loans and the sacrifice days, doing the spreadsheets, showing how you could, potentially, max your bags out and multiply them. Obviously, a lot of that didn't play out, but it was pretty good math. The math made sense. Let's see what do we got there. We've got a lot of stuff going on here. Let's see here. Apparently, there's some issues here. Important on the 3rd of April. There seems to be some miscommunication with the last message we sent. There is no need to unstake your polls from the protocol to keep getting valid awards. Message we sent related to the new staking pools, which are for staking VPulse. So you put Pulse in, you get VPulse out, and you can stake those for more rewards. There are a smaller number of users, about 10, who need to unstake their VPulse from the new Capital staking pool. So there we go. And they put out a new this announcement, didn't they, on the 31st? This is about 4 days earlier. The new era of Vouch.run is here. The Vouch ecosystem is just upgraded and much requested staking pools are live. Deposit once earned from multiple strains. Let's dig in. So I haven't actually caught up with this, so maybe they had some issues there. So I'm not quite sure what that's happening there. Important for Vouch users from Crypto Coffee today, because Coffee's covered that. Post is unavailable. I'm not sure why that is. But they've got this post, so let's go to that, shall we? No, that's not coming up either. I'm not sure why that is. There's no need to unstake your Pulse. Message we sent was to the new staking pools. Okay, just 10 users having some issues there. I'm not quite sure. Maybe they're the 10 users. I don't know. But they added new pools. What else we got? We got a little update here. So that's the 31st. This is the initial announcement. Vouch ecosystem is just upgraded. Essentially, this is our largest public validator. I still think they're bigger than ValidaX, but they're pretty close. They were only not too far apart from, but maybe, especially now that ValidaX lost that FIT 1200, maybe they're still the biggest. Before we move into pool types, you need to meet the new Vouch flywheel effect. And of course, we love these in crypto. There is no need to there's no point in just releasing staking for the sake of staking. It needs to have a solid reason for existing. In this case, it is to fuel the Vouch ecosystem to make it rocket. We like that. We like the sound of that. We do this by introducing a missing piece, a non-demand based revenue source. So non-demand, so in other words, I guess not needing new users, so to speak, based revenue source. And more participation equals more value for everybody. Well, there we got more. I know I said non-demand, but then they got more participation. So I guess more people using the VPulse. Is that what they're doing? Buy and burn Vouch builds liquidity, grows VPulse yield, rewards holders, and then creates validators, and then buys and burns Vouch, etc. It goes around the circle there. That's the flywheel. Token fees, capital pool yield, and validator priority. 3 ways to participate. There's the capital pools, which they just talked about, those 10 users. This concept allows the protocol to kickstart the flywheel and drive it forward over time. Deposit VPulse. So you have to get VPulse, you either get off the market or you stake Pulse to get VPulse, and liquid staking token, and receive Vouch and VPulse in return. Depositors give up some of their VPulse yield and receive Vouch and VPulse from the ecosystem, multiple revenue sources. The result is non-demand based system revenue. Well, I guess that's further down the line, because other than that, you're putting your VPulse in. So they've both already got their capital pool. Stake Pulse or VPulse, pool rate, inject revenue, flywheel, and then you earn Vouch and VPulse. So there we go. Standard pools. These are single-sided staking pools which reward stakers for supporting the ecosystem by staking Vouch. Cool part is you still get your Vouch holders rewards. Staking Vouch will get you more VPulse and Vouch tokens. Smart players will see some nice feedback loops you can create here. So there we go. So you get those Vouch rewards, and you can go stake there too. LP pools, so the third part of involvement. Liquidity token staking for chosen peers, which support the Vouch ecosystem. Pretty straightforward, but these pools will get you VPulse, and Vouch some more rewards. Note the LP pools are currently not enabled for the time being, so that's coming up. So that is their main stuff there. Come by and check out the Vouch staking by visiting Vouch Run, where you can find more and connect your to our protocol. So we have lots more to tell you and more to come. So that is pretty much our number one there. Obviously, this will be helped a lot. That's the website there, Vouch Run, and that will help a lot more moving forward. So very cool, very cool. So that is something updated. They've added another revenue stream there, and the ratio is still holding pretty nicely. Market cap 935K, and this will be just like the DEXs and everything else. This will probably get re-rated pretty hardcore when the Pulse does a reverse trend to the upside, which we're looking forward to. I know. What else have we got? Frank White says happy almost Easter. New stuff on PLS start. Yeah, we're going to get to that soon. We're up to 1 hour and 7 minutes, but we're having fun on the stream today, so we're going to keep going for some time. Hex Vader says PLS start me, definitely one for my books. Yeah. We got the smiley face there with the hearts. Live my best life says 100 million PRVX. You consider that to be a good amount? Well, that's no doubt. 100 million PRVX would be a good amount there. All right, we're up to here. All right, so let's get into it. We were up to PRVX. No, we weren't. We're up to Vouch. I just had a quick look at Vouch. True Farm at the moment. So from True DeFi, they're doing very well. Looks like they made it through the most difficult phases, and they're pushing forward there. I still want to know about the system miners, so I need to hunt that. I know MVS Crypto follows this pretty closely, so I might talk to him about that. But at the moment, it's at 1.4%. We're sitting at 74 cents. So True Farm, of course, is a collab project. At least the developer was Kairos, and True DeFi has added this to the DeFi yield, and this has been very successful. They got EDI rewards, just like Emmet Farm. They got all the LP farm, a lot of LP farms offering high yield as well, and this is ticking on pretty well at 74 cents. Got a nice little consolidation zone there as well. Obviously had a big rally on the launch. We always get that. Now it's about finding consolidation. A little bit like PRVX, getting a consolidation zone there. Looking pretty good at 74 cents though. Market cap 865K. Volume is ticked over, keep ticking over there. And no doubt this is probably interacting to some degree with the growth of the community. The community is definitely becoming the most interactive, larger communities on Pulsechain, along with PTGC, PDI communities, things like that. So True Farm definitely building up their brand and awareness. So keep up the good work there. True Farm doing a great job. And of course, this is pretty much the closest thing on Pulsechain we have to manage funds. And of course, they're more than that now because they're doing DeFi as well. So that's really exciting to see where that all goes to. Let's have a quick look at the farm on True Farms, and we'll quickly see what the yields are right now. So we're here on truefarms.io. Remember that their first product was the 2x miners on the earning twice your pulse, and I understand I think some more Pulse miners have just earned their 2 Pulse, so that's pretty cool after a couple of months. We got, what's the yield rate? The yield rate, 1,036 True Farm tokens per day, so it's pretty good at 74 cents. So what's that, about $740? Oh, 70. Let's say $720 a day. And True Farm itself is, if you stake True Farm, this pool here is different from all the rest, right? All the rest of the farm pools, but this one here is a single-side staking, and there's $440,000 in there. Nice. And we got the yield, the APR is at 212% at the current price of True Farm. So it's pretty cool. And basically, you're getting about a third, just under a third of your principal back a day in yield, or 2.2% per week. If the yield holds up at 212% over the whole year, that'll be 212%. So that'd be pretty nice. In any case, you're earning about 10% monthly back on your capital. So not bad. Woohoo! All right. What did I say? Per month? Yeah, something like that. What else we got going? We got so that's pretty cool. They got a lot of farms at the moment, True Farm and Pulse, so you can match your Pulse with it. The yield on there is 157%. So like Emmett Farm, True Farm's offering high yield. We got True Farm DAI, 120% right now. True Farm Pulsex, True Farm Inc., True Farm PRVX as well. Now, no doubt, True2X has probably got a pretty big position in the single side staking, just like on Emmett Farm. Emmett Farm, last time I knew it was about 26%. I know that Emmett Farm, they did a DeFi show. Maybe it's still on now, but it was just on before when I went live. They've been on for some time, so that was they were giving us some good updates there. So you can go check out their live show that they just did. We got Emmett as well. Emmett in there, 181%. So really nice yields supported here. Pulsex tokens, Pulsex. You can actually match Pulse and Pulsex together and earn 34%. That's not bad. Just sit there earning good old True Farm tokens. PRVX as well is in there with DAI, 147%. So you can see they've got some pretty cool yields going on. They've also got a lot of community tokens, Yep, Rhino, Gelato, Tetra, Hero, all pretty popular names in Pulsechain. So kind of cool, doing their thing. They've also got the DAO and NFT. Do they have NFTs? Yeah, I don't know if they got any. They have it. Oh, 251 minted out. I didn't know that. Okay, cool. That makes me want to look at Emmett Farm now to see. Emmett Farm's almost minted out their tokens. So that's kind of where we are right now on the old True Farm. So big shout out to the team building out sort of managed funds and DeFi on Pulsechain. And it's great to have that on there because we don't really have any of that sort of thing. And they have been doing, from what I can see, a pretty good job. What else there? Mafia at the moment, 25 cents. That is down, but we're going to keep an open mind and see where Coin Mafia goes. We're obviously looking forward to Coinwell and Coinaki, both bigger DeFis than Coin Mafia in some ways, or at least more triple blue chip there. And we're going to keep a look out for that from Raka Michelle and Jen, his wife, who's the CEO. So keep a look out for that coming up. What else we got going there? Scroll back down here, we've got Zendog. Now, we talk about the trifecta with Peacock. Well, Zendog's down here at number 61, so that's lagging a little bit there. But we'll keep a look out for that too. Source Sun Minimal, the big juggernaut in Europe, it is currently at 5.2 cents, but they're not using their buy and burn because this thing would be huge prices if they were. But let's have a look to see whether we got any buy and burn recently. I'm going to filter for, let's filter for 2,500. I think that might be the similar. So it looks like they did have a bit of buying here. I'm presuming, that does kind of look like it's buying. They've sold a little bit there too, so I'm not sure what's going on there. But we're looking for these double sort of purchases. Normally they were doing about 11,000. Remember that? Like this one here was kind of, but that's separated by times. It's a bit too much. But that's the kind of thing that we were looking at. That they were kind of buying around $11,000 worth, which matches up pretty well with that. Definitely these guys are not doing much with that. So they're supposed to be going to Solana. It's a shame, really. We obviously they got probably 20 plus million. I'm guessing in their buy and burn, maybe more. I mean, it could be well more than that. And so we'll see what happens with this. I do, it's probably the old Floyn market. I said this a week or so ago. But they're probably saying, get on Solana, because they've got about 12,000 like high valued clients on the Floyn site, and they're getting registered in Europe to go up the ranks of regulations and things. But they've got access to lots of wealthy individuals, like including probably up to high millions / billionaires in there as well. Investment banks is the key bit too, and this would have been one of our major bullish catalysts on Pulsechain. But they're still here. I thought they were supposed to go in the last year. But if you speak to Deutschland, you can go follow for an update but we will try and get an update on this. At the moment, still here, picking away, 5.2 cents, not much happening in the space there. So we'll keep a lookout and try and get an update on that. That saw some mini meal. We were very excited about it, but look, they're a little bit like CEOs can be a little bit like moving ships in the wind, right? They listen to some advisor and off they go to another chain. It's kind of a bit of a shame. What else? Let's see here. We've got a lot of down coins at the moment. Teddy Bear was doing pretty well yesterday. The other couple of days, it's down about 1%, so not too bad. Still holding up with the old Teddy Bear. We'll have a quick look at Teddy Bear. Actually, I mean, it's got pretty small liquidity, 3.6 million market apparently. Let's look at the pulse ratio. US dollar's pretty flat. Ratio going up there. Fractions of a pulse. 5,000. Was it 4 zeros? 5,000, something like that. PTC the Greys also taking a bit of a timeout, down 1.7% as well. We'll have a quick look at the pulse ratio. If you want to find out a lot about PTC, the first DAO token on the Pulsechain, one of our top tokens, I would say, communities, and you can go check out Prairie Banana. He does great coverage. I think maybe not daily, but pretty regular for sure. So that is where we are, 15.27, holding up pretty well at the moment. The all-time high ratio was way back here on the 17th. This is weekly charts, by the way, and that was a ratio of 22.68. So we're down from it, but it's still looking pretty promising. Look at that big arc there, right? Is that, I don't know, it's got a little bump in it, but is that a big cup and handle or something? I don't know, 3 times. The RSI pretty hot though on the old ratio. Let's have the US dollars here on the old PDC. Got rejected at 0.0018. The RSI is still under 50. So this is probably going to do down and then up again. So this is actually probably not looking too bad on the weekly. Let's have a look at the short time frame. Not fully oversold yet, so may bounce at 36. Other than that, it's probably going to go down below 30. So we'll see whether it can stop that little bleed out there on the daily. The 4 hourly, does it give us a clue? Well, it's zigzagging. No real too much clue there. Volumes are pretty sporadic, so we'll see. We'll see where there's a turning point where the brakes can go on there for their PTC. Let's jump down a bit further here. What else is down? What's losing today? Well, OG WebChef Dominance versus FlexSmiths is down 10%. Pepe, one of our top branded coins, I guess. That is got wrecked yesterday. Got a big volume there. Sold it down, but it worked back up. It's at 000196. Let's have a look at the pulse ratio, and we're on the weekly candles here, and we see that we are at 26.9. So not down the bottom, and we got down to 16 pulse per Pepe, but we're now at the 27 there on the old Pepe token. Pepe, that's that right? Pepe token. So that's a kind of it at the moment for investor, $1.39 from OG WebChef as well. So not bad day, and how many coins are green right now in the top 100? Trending is 68, so two-thirds trending, and the leader here definitely looking pretty strong is some of the obviously Peacock peers and a few others, right? A few others there are doing well. All right, so it's kind of cool. Now I wanted to mention, since we're up to an hour and 18, we're going to go probably to an hour and 30. We've got a great bunch of people watching right now. So if you haven't subscribed, we're streaming on 3 YouTube channels: the Crypto Night Show, Pulsechain X, and Superman Crypto. Smash the subscribe button. It just takes you a second to do that, and hit the bell for future videos as well. Typically, we're streaming every day, and sometimes we do more shows. So that's kind of cool. Now, what I wanted to say was, if you're on the X platform, smash the follow button. And if you guys want to join the strategy club, it's a high intel strategy club. You get all the latest news as I find it. You get it posted there on Bitcoin, Ethereum, some of the mega themes happening in crypto, Pulsechain, of course. Excuse me. And we'll be covering also SVM chain, Solana, and X1 chain. X1's from Jack Levin. This is kind of the second evolution of Solana. So we're covering that as well. And what you see, because we're in bear market conditions, often things will look like bear markets, right? And then suddenly they can re-rate really aggressively when we get into the bull market. You guys know the FOMO comes in, and money comes in, and it all just goes crazy, and you feel like you can never lose the money, right? So that's kind of the play. So we've got lots of cool things there at the moment. So we've got the QR code just below me that will join up to the Whoop store. It's a well-known platform, and that will, once you process through there, just over $1 a day to join up, and you will then end up in the strategy club on Discord. So pretty awesome. We've got over 1,000 members in Discord, so a really great place to be. And if you want general Discord membership, it's $12.50 a month, so really good value. And you get crypto helpline and everything else in there. It's pretty awesome. So, and we've got some of the best people out there, really great people. I mean, we've got really great people in there. So kind of cool. Now let's talk about Brandon. So Brandon here, obviously another large influencer in Pulsechain, Titanx, and he has actually been running a developer team for quite a few years now. And so he's a big player in the old community. And he has been building for a lot of teams. So he's got a developer team. They build projects for people. If they want to get a project done, they don't know how to do it. They want a professional done. And he does a very ethical service. So he's been, pretty amazing, really. And so he's got the Switch aggregator. It's been really stepping up. It's features rich. And of course, really has been a key player in the aggregator space. We got obviously Batias is a big aggregator. I still think they've got number one share. But look, these other protocols coming in are definitely providing a lot of competition. And so we've got Switch aggregator there coming in there as well. They recently hit, I think in the monster thread, was it last week, hit a milestone of 10,000 switches. So just think of switches as swaps, swaps, switches. And so pretty amazing stuff. Next target, I think, was 50,000 or 100,000. So they're really starting to build up their branding and marketing. So really been excited about what Switch has been doing. Also increasing their features, right, which is pretty awesome. And it's got the Matrix brand, which I love. I love that, right? So that's kind of cool. So let's have a quick look at some of the stuff there. We've got current. They recently introduced limit orders. We also talked about another platform which is also using the APIs for Switch. So other teams are using the Switch technology as well. And we saw Curve the other day launch limit orders. Well, you can do limit orders on Switch as well directly. So current limit orders stats on Switch are pretty awesome. Resistance is futile, says Brandon. And we can see the cool stuff there. Switch aggregator stats, real-time analytics for Switch router on Pulsechain. So we might have a look at that. We've got some total orders and active. So this is just starting. This is just warming up now with the limit orders. Now, limit orders, I did a post a couple of weeks ago on showing, I think it was the top 6 things you can do with or strategies you can do with limit orders. So you should definitely check that out. Maybe we'll pick it off later on. But basically, you can set, if you want to sell, you can set, prices that you want to sell it. If you want to buy, you can set prices you want to buy it and just put it in there, and it will just sit there, and your crypto stays in your wallet. But as soon as the price gets executed, it will try and execute that trade. And all things equal, hopefully it goes through. All right, hopefully it goes through nice and there. And you can pick up really good dips or prices, etc. So it's kind of cool. So we've got dashboard, limit orders, and partner stats. So let's quickly go on Switch and have a quick look at that. Now, if you guys haven't got Switch, I will give you the link to it, and you can launch the app there. Now, the cool thing about this too, it also has APIs you can use on a website. So if you guys have got a website, you maybe got some project, you want to encourage people to do swapping, you can use the Switch API there and put it into your website, and then you'll have the whole swaps inside your website. It's kind of cool. Things like that I think you can do. So, and you can also brand it as well. You can brand the colors, change colors, all sorts of stuff, which is pretty cool. So you got the widget there. It's called a widget. So how you do that. It's also got the features, DEX aggregator, and how it works, etc. So kind of cool stuff there. And so this is just an idea of the switching there. I'm sure where we're going to go with the stats. I'm not sure where the stats are because I haven't looked at them. We're just doing this live. We've got how it works, etc. Kind of cool. Your widget, yeah, that widget's cool. So you can do Ethereum base or Pulsechain, the default network, which is kind of cool. So you can change the Pulsechain, and bam, there it is. It's got all the assets. Look at that. It's got all the default assets too. They've added a few more recently, but it's got a lot of the popular ones that the community are after. It's got Peacock there, obviously. Morpheus, which is the token for Switch. So if you're after to pick up stuff, that's a Titanx token, Morpheus. So kind of cool. So that is coming the neat stuff there. It's also built on top of DragonX. So DragonX, it's got a big buy and burn. What's it got? Like $3 million buy and burn. So Morpheus is not too bad there. All right, so that's kind of cool. Now, is it under resources? I'm not sure where the data is here. Let me have a quick look here. Switch aggregator stats real time. Maybe we have to go to the DApp for that. Let's quickly launch that. You can connect your wallet up. Where's the features there? On the features? I'm not sure. I hadn't really pre-programmed this. I just wanted to have a look at the Switch since it was really starting to lift prominence, the old Switch. I'm not where the stats is right now. Let's see what switches. Oh, that's got the data there. Let me have a lot more looks. That is resources. Oh, let me go back. I think we might. We've got limit orders here. So if you're on switch, this is a normal switch. So if you're just going to swap, you want to buy and sell straight away. Otherwise, you got the limit there, and you can set the price, right? So that's kind of cool. When 1 ETH is worth 2,049, you can do all that. I haven't connected to the wallet, but that's the basic idea, and you can pick your pick the assets you want to do. So it's kind of cool. But I was just trying to see, maybe he doesn't have it on here. Maybe there's no stats page yet, but he's definitely got it here. I don't know. This might be on the Morpheus site. Maybe it's on the Morpheus site there. I'm not sure. 100%. I'll come back and check that, and we'll see if we can find that stuff as well. But looking pretty good is the old switch there. Now, did I post that in the chat? I don't know if I did. But let me post the website, and you guys can go check it out as well. Do your own due diligence, all that good stuff. But that is from Brandon, and we will try and get some dynamic stats coming up. But that is the limit there. Bam, bam, bam. Awesome stuff, though, right? Limit orders, swapping, very cool. Dex aggregator that's going through other dexes. Basically, we got what Pulse. We got Pulsex. We got 9mm, and it's kind of routing through that, and maybe it routes through the aggregators as well. Maybe it's a bit of an aggregator of aggregators. It's kind of cool. I think it does have a list of the swaps there when you go to the actual DApp itself. Cool. So we're going to keep a track of the old switch. Definitely a rising star there under the good guidance there of Brandon, and you can use the widget and stuff like that. Put it on your website and stuff. So keep a look out for that. It'll be very, very cool. And you never know, we might do some examples of trading on it and stuff like that in the future. Definitely plausible. Now let's get into the final topic today. We've gone through a lot of the cool tokens that are doing well on the chain. Some of the big alpha news dropping. Now there's many more projects coming on Pulsechain. I think a lot of them are held back just because where the market is right now. But as soon as we get that market turning over, guys, I think we're going to get a whole tsunami of projects launching from very good developers like Stu, like Jacob, and many others that are working there. A lot of them just waiting for the market to turn. So I think that's all going to flood. So we'll be covering those in the future. We've obviously got a lot of cool teams doing a lot of cool stuff now, like LibertySwap, like Fast Abdul, like Brandon. These guys are building out. Like True D5, these guys are just, screw it. We're going to the market. We're going to build during the bear market and ride up for glory in the bull market. So kind of cool. And it adds a lot of value. They're all adding their own value onto the chain with quality DeFi. Less crap projects and more great projects, right? Now, talking about great projects, we've got Frank Whiteside here, Start Me. And of course, this should be added to your favorites here. Obviously, you can double check all the links and everything like that. I always suggest you do. Right, and don't Google links. Right, Google links is really bad. There are scammers. Scammers are very capable of taking the top spots on Google with the SEO and stuff like that. So you get LibertySwap has that all the time. They got a fake LibertySwap. Doesn't say LibertySwap. It's got letters mixed around. So you got to be very careful. And once you know if you got a good site like PLS Start and you're confident in the links, then it's great. Right, you can double check them with the official accounts on X and things like that. Lots of things you can do there. So, yeah, very big deal there. But this is a Pulsechain ecosystem map. I think it's probably the best one we have out there. There are a few others on Pulsechain sat sites, Pulsechain, Pulse CoinList, places like that. There's lots of other DeFi sites that we have that are pretty good with Pulsechain stats, but I think this is probably the best one. I know Frank definitely keeps us up to date, and it's expanding all the time. Remember, when we first covered this, it was a much smaller list, but it's almost like it's 3-4 times bigger now. And it's also, look, it's got the Switch API in it where you can do switches and limit orders there. He might want to make this a little bit bigger, actually, but it's still here. So kind of cool. Yeah, I don't know if you're still watching, Frank, but you might want to pull it out and put that make it a bit bigger here. Maybe put a nice fat thing up there or something. Just little changes on there. All right, so that's kind of cool. Oh, let me scroll back here. Gone too far. All right, so what else? We've got general stuff up here. So we've got all the apps. Look how much stuff is on Pulsechain, guys. It's pretty cool. I don't know. It feels like Frank Whites has done an audit of the things because there's a lot more on here. I always knew there was more on the original stuff, but it looks like he really is capturing them all now. Great points. Thanks for the overview. You're most welcome there, Frank. We've got all the new ones up here on the left. We've got DEXs, all the DEXs. Now, with DEXs, of course, we have most of the volume going through Pulsex and 9mm, but we do have other DEXs. Some of them have their own specific pools, right? There's only specific pools. So obviously got Curve there, ODC, stuff like we've got some OCCDS there, so over the counter, in other words, peer-to-peer between you and somebody else that is on there using the contract as an intermediary. We got bridges and swaps, obviously. We've got the official Pulsechain bridge. We've got Hyperlane. Hyperlane, what's it, 130 chains? And I think we've had some of our bridges have been using that technology. I think one of them, what was the big one that stopped using it the other day, the other week? I can't remember, but that was out there. LibertySwap, of course. PulseLN's been a diehard, and of course you're going to get different. PulseLN is super fast, but some of the swaps can be expensive. Some of them can be quite reasonable priced. So it just depends on where the market is. PulseSwap, LibertySwap, of course, crushing it, top tier. Pulsechain ramp, Change Now. Obviously, Change Now has been around, pretty multi-chain facility. Certainly helps on certain occasions to do stuff on there. There's lots of variations of Change Now out there. Let's change Houdini Swap. Houdini Swap always doing stuff as well, and gas up there. But our chains really dominated, I think, now with Pulsechain Bridge, LibertySwap. Now, the one thing I don't see on here is Ramp Now. Ramp Now is not on there, so I'm not sure why Ramp Now is not on here. Ramp Now is obviously another big one. I did a bridge survey, and I had over 20 bridges, so there's a lot missing off here that could be added there. Maybe Frank could go back and look at my list. You just type in bridges, I think, on my X profile, and it'll bring up my map. And I think there's only been a few additional ones since that map was done. And some of them are second parties, so they were using Change Now APIs, but there is a lot of separate ones. I'm not sure they're all operating. It's been a while, but that's definitely the case. And I did that. When did I do that? Last year somewhere. Off on ramps there, we got PRVX. What else do we got? PRVX, PulseLN. Yeah, I mean, all kind of similar to bridgings in some ways. Coast with the state. Now, I don't know if Coast is still operating. I'm not sure the status here. I'm pretty sure the stablecoin is no longer happening, but they've still got features there. They've still got the DeFi features. What else? Shopping, Pulsechain Store, obviously. Pulsechain Store's got a $50,000 merch competition coming up or something like that coming up, or giveaway coming up. So I'm not sure if that's quite hit yet. What else? Sun Mini Meal, yeah, definitely got the health cookies. Oh yeah, I guess some of these projects have all got T-shirts and things in it, coffee mugs and stuff. I was just thinking, one that's not on here is Ramp Now's under Show All button. Oh, okay, have I got a button that's not missing? Have I got a button that's not? Where's the Show All button? Where's the Show All button there? Okay, Show All. Sorry, my bad. I apologize. My bad. There we go. Where's it there? Change Now, Houdini Swap, and a swap. Oh, Ramp Now. I still don't see it here. Change Now. Under off ramps. Okay. Ramp Now. There's Ramp Now. Yeah. So Ramp Now. There's pretty cool. That's also opened up a lot of features around Europe and stuff like that. So Europe and Australia, I think maybe. Kind of cool. Yeah. Next one. Yeah. I got there in the end, Frank. So that's kind of cool. Oh, what the hell? I just clicked. I clicked on one of the links and it already goes. Now, aggregators wise, what else was I saying about that? Aggregators. Oh, so shopping. It's missing. What's the one that's love.io? Is it missing love.io off here? Because they got a big shop. They got love.com or something. That actually is similar kind of to Signum Mini Meal, where they sell products and then they go and buy up and burn love.io. But I don't know what's happened to love.io guy, and I've forgotten his name off the top of my head. I did interview him a while, but last year or sometime. I've just forgotten his name off the top of my head. Aggregators, Patias, of course. Switch. We've got a few others here. What else? Internet Money, 90mm. So 90mm. Yeah, I guess they're doing aggregating. PortalX. Now, I'm not sure how much volume's going through. PortalX was a great site, but it was a little expensive. But that was from Power City. I'm not sure what. It'd be interesting to know what the market share of some of these is. Obviously, Patias was pretty much dominating like 60 to 70% or something. But now that you've got Switch in the house, rising, other aggregators, it's definitely getting more competitive. LibertyX, of course, coming from LibertySwap, so it's definitely getting more competitive in that space. Now, the other thing I was going to say about Patias was that they were supposed to have they did a big capital raise, remember, for an AI trading bot thing, and they were doing all these Monte Carlos and things, everything else like that. I'm not sure where they've headed with that. Still waiting for news around that. I think for like their 2.0. So we'll keep a look out for that. What else? Swaps, LP tools in here. We've got dApps as well, functions. So you definitely want to check, there's a lot of interesting DeFi here, a lot of interesting stuff, but you definitely want to check, make sure you got the right links. Obviously, Frank does his best here, but you still got to, do your own. There's crypto after all, you still got to do your own checks and stuff, but this list is fantastic. dApps now, interesting, it's got dApps here, but there's kind of like DeFi and farms. So it's kind of like, it gets a bit mixed up when you got, it's not just a farm, but it's got DeFi like Function on. And we've got a few others here. Nexion, of course, we cover that. Hocus Pocus has got a great site for farm APRs. So if you want to, compare farms across APRs, Hocus Pocus does that, as well as NFT marketplace. So kind of cool. True DeFi, of course, the 2x miners, kind of cool. Internet Money, Morbius, of course, Morbius. We talked about that. Actually, let's quickly look at Morbius, shall we? I know I'm going. I said I was going to be 15 minutes, and now we're going overtime. We're going mega overtime now. I've got the chat there, Morbius chat. What else? Blackjack there. Oh, they got all the games in the house, yeah. Now, I do want to cover Morbius more. So Morbius has got like blackjack. It's getting pretty popular, actually. So we probably will be covering Morbius a bit more in the future. That's under dApps. We've got Pulse Bitcoin community in here as well. Also one of the largest communities, I think, still pretty active in Pulsechain. They've got a Pulse Bitcoin council with Fat Sammy leading the way there. Another influencer in the community. Lending leverage there. Obviously, you've got Nexion Glow. Let's see, we've got Fiat. It's a fork of Aave. We've got Fame. It's a fork of GMX. So it's leverage trading. But Nexion also has added leverage trading, right? So it's quite niche there. So we actually, if you're thinking about doing perpetuals and stuff like that, then you do have Fame and Nexion as two different options. Nexion will depend on who's participating with liquidity in there, but certainly up to 10x there. Basically any team can put LP in there and get that going with farms and stuff. So kind of cool. So Fame, GMX fork there. Axel Lending, peer-to-peer. I'd love to see more from Axel around that. So, Axel's a great team. They do need, some teams, and I don't mean to be, because obviously it's a lot of hard work doing developers, and I don't want to take any of that gloss away at all. But I think at some stage, I know there's competition and people steal code, but I think, ultimately people should be publishing their code and verifying and all the rest of it. I think at some point you should be doing that. And that way you get, if you get more immutable code, then more people will participate, and I think people need to do that. I just think it's just a reality you're going to need to do. I know that people want to protect their IP, and I get that. And there's no way of doing that really outside of that. But I think if you want to get big adoption with great products like Axel, then you need to you really need to get that code published, etc., and the rest of it. So food for thought there. Obviously, they're in charge of the protocol, but just some feedback I've seen a lot from. But other than that, great tech. What else do we got? Ink Printer announced their stablecoin liquidity fork, Power City Flex in protocol there. So these are all around liquidity protocols, second layer, liquidity dApps, liquid loans, of course, MCR. So these are all around liquidity forks, popular ones that we've got on Pulsechain. Liquid loans, Amplifier, all the same, sort of making more money on the base liquidity forks there, and Amplifier as well. Kind of cool. So a lot of liquidity stuff in there. What else? We've got the Pulsechain Explorers. We've got liquidity staking. We got more? Yeah, I thought we had more. Yeah. PulseScan, Ultraplan, Pulsechain Explorer, Otter, ViralScan, Lightbeam, and Midgard. Yeah, seems pretty good. Just trying to think if there's others that are not in there. There's a couple that maybe not in there. Interesting. Just have top of memory. Liquid staking with Pulse. We've got Vouch and ValidateX. These are the two big ones, right? The two big validators on Pulsechain. They're public validators. And I think after ValidateX, maybe Vouch is still holding the lead there. Then we've got Hexco, right? Welcome to Hexco, hex.com. Go.hex.com 2.0. Richard Hart just launched that, right? 2.0. And then we've got a lot of the other derivatives, right? Hex, Communist App, Acosa, Hedron. We've got Alex McFerter. I think it is Alex McFerter. Yeah. Win 2.0. Oh, it's still coming. Superstake, OKX House there. Power City. Was it not Power City? Magic Upright, isn't it? And Hex Search there for videos. You want to find all the videos there. What's it? Underdogs on top, says Frank White. Yeah. Then we've got other tools, all the other tools in the house. Pulse domains. Let me know in the chat, or let me know if in the comments afterwards if you're using Pulse domains much. They were very popular at the beginning, but one point in time. I just wonder how much they are still being picked up and they're used. What else we got going in there? We're scrolling down. We've got lots of cool tools in here. I'm not going to read them all, but definitely lots of cool tools in here. Just looking for anything. Safe wallet. Is this the safe wallet? Is this the yeah? Is this the multi? Where's the multi-sig? Liquid Lines multi-sig. I wonder where that list is in here. NFT marketplace. Oh, now this is a zone. Now NFTs, of course, really I was really about the only influencer really covering NFT markets on Pulsechain. There was a lot of Wild West stuff. We had a lot of rugs going on. It was very difficult. Even someone I interviewed on here ended up, I think, rugging from all things equal. It can be tough there, but I wanted to be an early promoter of NFT markets. I just thought it was a great value add for Pulsechain. And a lot of them have not done very well with the volume, right? So we also had one of our biggest sacrifice projects, not do very well as well, Mintra, with Gerardo. And of course, that was, I think, what was that, about $11-12 million sacrifice raise, so one of our biggest raises. And that ended up dying a death, didn't it? Which is a shame. It was a beautiful site that there was, I think there's a bit of politics going on with the founders and some, whatever drama there. But we've still got Pulse Markets, apparently, Pulse Domains, Experimenter, NFT. Now, NFT is actually a collection, NFT collection. Marketplaces, we seem to have less. Is this all we got left? But we also haven't got, I just feel like there's some missing here. Is this, I know that a lot of them died. Some of them definitely died. We have also, I just can't remember them all off the top of my head, but just think that there's a few missing here. Squirrels, that would probably be from the community personalities. Squirrels, is it? Beatbox and Mintra are gone. Yeah, those are the ones I was thinking of. Beatbox. So Beatbox, there's a couple of good guys. There are a couple of good guys. I think they're from South America somewhere, and they got out. They got out first, right? They got out first early, and then they lasted actually quite long. And I'm sure they must have made a decent amount of pulse with that. But Mintra, they just launched it. They just launched it and it became top thing. Yeah, Mintra had a $12 million launch, and they did a great site. Mintra had a great site, no doubt. But the volume has just died. It was just dead. The market just died a death, and so no one. That was just a big loss there. But Beatbox just showed you that you could just make a website and get up and running, and it was out before Mintra, if I remember right. There was one like the first, and they just basically took all the volume. Mintra got out $12 million thing, and it was not dead but close to it. Especially relative to the 12 million that was capital raised. But yeah, those gone. Now I had them on the interview too on the Beatbox, not Mintra, but a Beatbox and a couple other NFT collections. But like I say, that's going to be the top of the market, right? So if you want one of the indicators when we do get in the bull market and you're wondering where the top is, one of the things telling you the top is when we have NFTs and markets and NFT collections booming, right? That's like, oh shoot, we must be like a month away from the top or something, that's one of the indicators there. Hex Toys also says Frank White, yeah. All right, so that's kind of cool. Let's jump over into the last couple of columns. We've got wallets, of course. Internet money is the key one there. We're about to have two more big wallets, right? At least. I think there might be a third one out there too from memory. But we're going to have Ramp Now is doing a wallet, and LibertySwap is doing a wallet, right? So two potentially big wallets, particularly the LibertySwap will be revolutionary because it's going to have all the privacy railgun type ZKX and stuff like that. So that's going to be pretty big. So we've got all that coming. Ledger OKX wallet there. We've had a little bit of love from OKX. So, it's a love-hate relationship with a lot of these platforms. But we're getting articles in some of their sites and things. Not sure. I don't think they're paid. I think they are this coverage. Well, they could be paid. Who knows? We've got Treasure in there and MetaMask course, and we've got others as well. Let's have a look at the others. Rabby and Pulse Wallet. Now you can still use Rabby, but you got to add the custom RPC and the custom tokens, etc. Pulse Wallet out there as well. Now Pulse Wallet is actually another Rabby fork, right? But and I think it's an Asian team that runs that. Now some people have always been a bit skeptical around security, but and I know I did do a test of the wallet. I actually found the functionality wasn't working for me when I was using it, so I thought, am I doing something wrong here? But yeah, so people have been using Pulse Wallet there, but still people are a little bit nervous about that one. It seems to be ticking away though, so I don't know how many years is good. Does it only take 1 day? 5 years are good, 1 day is bad. But anyway, that's ticking away there. But we're going to have 2 good offerings now. So Internet Money, of course, one of the Kraken protocols on Pulsechain, and we're going to have Ramp now, and particularly LibertySwap, which is going to be a juggernaut coming. So it's going to be good. We need more quality, relatively reliable, or at least what I call it, credible wallet. So it's going to be good. Chart trackers, we've got lots of stuff on here. Obviously a lot of charts here. I'm just scrolling down here. Now, obviously a lot of people want to do portfolios. A lot of people ask about this. Well, you got a whole list here. Look at this. Apparently there's 45. Look at these things. There's 54 various trackers right in here that you can use. PLS portfolio is a popular one. Some of them are specific probably to their DeFi that they're running, like Vouch, LSD dashboard. You got Squirrel Swap. I know Squirrel Swap's the startup. I haven't checked the safety of that. Obviously, I think it's Red Squirrel, is it? One of personalities there, but that's out. I haven't checked any of those, so you just got to take care out there. Pulsechain dashboard. Now that we've got IPFS right from Richard Hart with the old trackers, portfolio tracker as well, so it gives you a lot of privacy. So there's lots of stuff in here. Heaps of them. Fatty.io, of course, from the PH team with Bunkermentals, those guys. They're the ones that did the GMX fork, the Aave forks, the Balancer forks, right? What else there? We've got DBank in there. Yep. LP farms. Well, we've got lots of those, and these have actually added a lot of value to Pulsechain, right? As these farms, right? So because they offer a high yield, and that's attractive in the crypto. And so we've had some pretty good ones here. Obviously, Hocus Pocus does multi-farm tool. If you want to compare the APRs, it's a really great one-stop stop there. We've got a lot of farms, of course, from Function Island. We've got Yield Farm. Presumably that's their one they're talking about there with Yield. Emmett Farm, of course, got the farm and the factory now. That's a specialty product there. We've got Impulse Vaults there. That's also tied from Kairos. These are all Kairos ones. Nexian Farm from Psycho and Leaf. These are 2 developers for that. Farms with Nexian V-Farms there. Nexian Farm Factory. That I believe they were the creator of the farm factories. So they were kind of first in there. And then we got Tide Pools, P2X, True Farms, of course, part of the Emmett getting Kairos to do that with that and expanding the True 2X. Kind of cool. What else do we got? Desktop. Let me know if you use desktop. We've got desktops there. Ink printer, Faster Dual. Actuator there as well. PHUX from the PH Universe team. And what else? UFO have got their farms as tools as well. Now, obviously, you might hear some of the teams talking about like what do they call it? Index pools, like index pools. Basically, it means they've got a lot of LPs with a lot of top protocols. Typically, people don't generally want to go for the crap LPs, with bad tokens. So they pair it with good ones there and offer you incentive rewards for doing it, right? So that's kind of, I think, where you get this one here. What is it? What did I say? The UFO LPs and the PTC LP type things. How big is this map? Is this map a little bit small here? Probably a little bit small for my screen. How's that? I'm a bit late there scrolling it up, but there it's a little bit bigger. Let me see if I can move that. I'm moving the wrong one now. Oh, I'm stuck in the wrong screen. I'm moving my studio, making that bigger. All right. Oh, shoot. I lost it altogether. Sorry, guys. Lost it altogether. Too big. All right. So where are we up to? LP farms. Let's see if my screen looks all right. Now my screen's too big. There we go. That's a bit better. All right. So we got the LP pools, which I've had a look at all these ones here. XUSD vaults with that team with was it Kerry? Is it? I think it's Kerry. And Ink Farm there as well, and Pulsechain farms. Now we haven't talked much about Pulsechain farms, but that was one of our more recent farms that launched from memory. And we got Kilobyte in there as well, which I haven't really looked at myself. And a couple of good ones there. Tokenless, obviously, we got cool stuff there. Pump Tires, RH Memes, big one. And we've looked at all these sites. Pulse Coin List. We got what else in here? A Rhino. We got Radon, Rhino, a couple others we've talked about in the past, so forth. So we've got 38 apparently. Look at that. Pulsechain Fund, lots of different ones in here. Pretty cool. Icosa Burn, SolidX, lots of cool little niche ones for Investor. Obviously, we talk about Investor every day. There are a lot of tokens running. Yeah. All right. So that's how did we get on? We got almost finished. No, not quite. So we got a couple more in here. We've got privacy coins, ZK Pulse. Is that still going? ZK Pulse? I think it is. Is it still going? Houdini Swap, Lasso, and LibertySwap. LibertySwap's got to be the kingpin now, right? And Telegram bots there. Obviously, we've had a few expansions there. Squirrelbot, PTC, Pulsonic. Isn't you know what's missing from this trading bots? Isn't Zero? Isn't Zero doing one of their 10 DApps as a trading bot? So that might be missing on here, Frank. Just the food for thought. Frank's got. I wanted to go over these. I didn't want you to say what might be missing. We've got communities in the house there. We've got DeFi Prince in the house. A lot of communities there. A big shout out to DeFi Prince. They do a lot of great work there out there on X and stuff like that. I'm just looking at a few of the others. Obviously, Emmett's out there doing True DeFi's out there doing DeFi X spaces as well. Gray's Currency, they do a bit there as well. Vic Foundation, that's one of our non-profits for. Vic's one of our non-profits for doing. They have a DAO every 2 months, I think, and they allocate some of their trading volume income for the veterans and the first responders, which is kind of cool. So a big hat off to Vets and Hero as well. So they're doing a great job there in that space, and they've got some stuff coming down the line. Apparently, I can't say anything else than that. They've definitely got some stuff coming. Keep a lookout. You might have to keep a lookout for that, Frank. We got centralized exchanges, Bitcoindry, Safe Trade, and Kanga, and then we got some paid sponsors here. Man, you got a lot of sponsors now. That's great. That's a sign of a successful Pulsechain ecosystem, Matt. And we got Function Island, Token A. We've got lots of Pulse LN. Man, you got a lot in here. So great to see them sponsoring your page there. Very cool. All right, so you can add or sponsor a site. So head up Frank White there on X or Telegram there if you want to add your team on it. So kind of cool. That is Pulsechain's map there. I'm going to decrease it again because I probably should have made it bigger earlier. I didn't realize how small it was on the screen. but hopefully you guys followed me along there for the most part. We've got a huge crowd watching, so I really appreciate that. So some good coverage there, Frank White. A lot of people getting to see your awesome Pulsechain ecosystem map today. If you haven't subscribed, don't forget to subscribe on YouTube. We're streaming on 3 YouTube channels. We're streaming on Pulsechain X. Yeah, Pulsechain X. Superman Crypto, big shout out over there. And of course, the Crypto Night Show, 3 YouTube channels. So definitely smash the subscribe button. Share the channels around if you can. Hit the bell for future videos. We're also on X, of course. And we're heading up towards our next target is 2,000. You guys know I've had to restart the channel because my old one got taken down unfairly. This is what it's like on social media, guys. And I tried to appeal like 12 times and I got crickets, no reply whatsoever every single time. It's crazy. And I lost, that huge following that I had. Probably would be 2-3 times bigger now. But that's just the way it goes. So we're building from the bottom. Now that we're at the bottom, now we're here. We just go, only way is up. I don't know how many songs I can sing, but that's kind of it. So pretty cool. We're 1513 now, and we just hit that 1500 milestone. So big shout out to all the people. I might do another stream later today. I feel like streaming today. I probably need a bit of a break because it does take a little bit from your voice, but we might cover a different topic altogether though. Maybe we might do Titan X or X1 or something. I don't know. We'll see. It'll be a shorter show, but it'll certainly be fun. We're coming up on 2 hours. Can you believe it? 2 hours here on the old Pulse stream. Now, what I was going to do was have a look at Pulsechain, right? At Pulse itself and see where Pulse is at right now. So let's do that. I see Peacock's rising there, almost 1.3 cents. But let's have a look at Rat Pulse since we've still got a couple of minutes left. And see where Rat Pulse is at right now. We'll look at the $1 million of liquidity in there in the main pair. Let's see. Whoa. So this is the chart. Obviously not a great looking chart. I think everyone's pretty much accepted that. We are on the weekly chart here. And you can see that the RSI is all the way down at 30. So remember, 30 or below is oversold. And of course, 70 and above is overbought. So that's the RSI. It's kind of your basic tool. If you're not going to have anything else, you don't want to buy the tops or buy the bottom or sell the bottoms, then this is a tool to have, right? So if you're new to crypto, it's really a must. If you're new to markets, any markets, even stock market, whatever, very important there. So let's go full screen. We're up 2.225% today. So we've got a little bit of green candle on Pulse today. The weekly moving average here for the 21 day. So 21 day is a very much a trader's view. And we got the price at 14.40. So we're half of that right now, right? We're half of that right now. And we recently, in the current week, we had the all-time low. And the all-time low was 6969. So that is the new all-time low for the Pulse chart. And RSI is skimming along the bottom around that 30 mark right now. So when is the doom and gloom over? Well, if it fits the rest of the market, then, maybe the next couple of weeks is going to be a bit tough, but volatile. We'll up and down days. And we don't have another capitulation. In other words, we talked about that Bitcoin chart earlier. We hit 60,000 a couple of weeks back, but we don't go down to the Bitcoin floor on the power curve, which is about that 53,000, right? That would be the next level down. I don't think we would stay there very long, based on previous times we had hit down, spike down, but that would possibly be the low. Now, that being said, we may have had the low in already, and that could be this week, and maybe things are only to the upside there. Particularly if Trump does do a deal with some more moderate, I say that with very caution, moderate Islamic jihadis in the old Iranian leadership there. But let's see. Let's see what happens with that. There's still a lot of upside there. Trump has a lot of cards to play. He also has the Strait of Hormuz is probably the greatest weapon for the regime to try and get at Trump, as it were, is the Strait. So that is a complex thing. Remember, it's got all those mountains. I can't say that again. That makes it more difficult. Now, we probably will, I suspect, get some sort of land invasion, but I think it's going to be very targeted and very strategic. It won't be anything else other than that, because Trump wants to be in and out. So that would be a tool he uses if he needs it. But there is a lot of stuff he can do without doing that, right? So he can have the pressure of the troops, but really he can do a lot of other things like take out all the major bridges and power stations. I mean, he can do a lot if he wants to, but he doesn't want to hurt the Iranian people. And so he is actually hamstringed a little bit with that because he wants them to rise up ultimately. So what you're going to do, I guess he's going to divide and conquer the regime as much as possible, make them really weak, and then get the people to slowly, the resistance movements to slowly rise up there. They do have a lot of Mossad agents. A lot of the RIGCs are actually, anti the leadership there, and they can give a lot of locations of where, offices are at, where these underground rocket cities are at, and things like that. So that's going to play out over a couple of weeks, and that will be pretty hardcore at this stage, is what I imagine. And of course, they're still doing a lot of the seek and destroy. They also have these advanced, controls on the battlefield right now, where they can react within seconds, not just minutes, like the old school, which was amazing by itself. But within seconds now, they can use some of this new technology they're running. So we're going to keep a lookout. The next couple of weeks certainly going to be volatile. And here we are at Pulse at the moment. Is it close to, will this blue play out? I've got that on the May here, along with the Clarity Act, right? 21st of May. So this is on the week of the 18th. Will we get something like this happen, right? So are we pretty close, in other words, to getting this to rise up? Now, every time we've been down at 30, even down here, we were down here quite a bit, just above 30. We had a nice little rally there, and so there is value to be made. So we're pretty close to something like that moving forward. That would be the argument, right? Now, that's the other thing, of course, is we got Richard out there. You just never know what he might do. Obviously, he's already indicated that $10,000 Ethereum is a key mark for him in last year's video. And so we'll see. But he's got a lot of other things he can do around PRVX, around, obviously he's been doing things around inflation and things like that on the Pulsechain. So keep a lookout. And maybe LibertySwap, maybe they're doing something that is going to be pretty significant around yield products, particularly stablecoin, and of course the wallet coming up. So we've got lots of cool things in play. So will this be near the bottom? And will we about to move back up, and this mega downtrend that we've had on the old Pulsechain recover? Now, let's have a look at the daily chart here quickly as well. The daily chart shows that the 21 moving average is currently at 8,200, so 50 is 8,200. So remember, the mean sacrifice price was 0001. So at the moment, you can pick up what would have cost you about $85,000 US for a billion pulse, you can now pick up for $7,200. So just think about that. Pretty amazing stuff. What's it about 11, 12x times, I think, basic math. Yeah, you could be that guy. You could be that guy. All right, so that's kind of where we are right now. It's pretty insane. So we'll keep a lookout for that. Now, obviously, the liquidity is pretty thin on Pulsechain. Apparently, we have about 37 million or so stable coins that's sitting idle. No doubt those numbers look pretty interesting. So maybe they're just Richard's capital sitting there waiting for some good times. And of course, we've now got LibertySwap, which you can do a lot of bridging of secret money and do all that stuff. Now, LibertySwap's not only doing this wallet coming up, they're doing obviously the privacy, they're integrating privacy with normal wallets. They're going to have APIs and SDKs open as well for mass adoption. They're making some big partnerships coming up from the looks of it. They will have some sort of collab marketing with that as well, well beyond Pulsechain. And it looks like also they've got Liberty Lend coming as well. So not only are you going to be able to do all the stuff within the wallet, but you'll be able to do big, large buys and sells as well, potentially bringing on the big sophisticated players and, of course, ramping up the liquidity. And this is kind of the outside of Richard Hart's moves and the ETH price. This is some of the magic sauce that's happening on the Pulsechain. So it's pretty exciting where this might go. And that will also help potentially put a bottom in for Pulsechain with a lot of volume and fees being earned as accordingly. So kind of cool. Question is, of course, have we got, what's the rise to this 21 moving average here on the daily? Well, it's about 13%, so it's not a lot. And of course, we want to get over that as well. Moving forward here. Now, I don't have the 50 moving average, so let's put a couple others in here since we're going all in today. We're over 2 hours now, so we're having a good time. Having a good time. All right, let's go into the style here. We're going to do the 50-day. Can double that up as well. 50. I'm not going to put the shorter averages on, but we'll do 50 and see what that looks like right now. And then we're going to do, what happened? That was blue. That was not supposed to be blue. What happened to that? Yellow. That looks okay. And then we'll do the other one. I'm not sure why it didn't change color, but let's go orange. And we'll do 200. Got 200 there. And what happened to the yellow one? I don't know what's happened to the yellow one. Let me try that again. Oh, I've got it on hidden. There we go. So we have got the 50-day currently sitting at 9,500, so 5095, and we've got the 200-day at 4018 at the moment. So that's about 2.5x from here to get up there, and so about 150%. Let's have a look at the 4-hourly here at the moment. We've come off the bottom, kind of sitting in the middle. We haven't really got much further here, see? So we really struggled. It's really struggling, and of course the chart shows that. And so we really struggled to get any really momentum here. Last time we had really good momentum was back here in March, and we got a nice rally on, right? So if you look out further, we've actually been really struggling for some time, probably at least since mid-March in the chart there, really struggling on the RSI. And so, downtrend there. So we'll keep a lookout for that. But daily, near the bottom there. So wish us luck. Wish us luck there. We can get a bounce from here and finally break out past 56 on RSI. Look at that, capped out all the time. Down we go. So eventually, hopefully, we'll get a nice little run like we did back in June last year. Boom, and break the back of this mega downtrend. Damn you, mega downtrend. Let's go look at the monthly. Let's do it. Let's do it while we're here. So at the moment, we've still got a print 21 moving monthly print here. That's all the way up at 3,100. So that'd be pretty nice. But that's what's at 340%, so 4.4x potentially in there. So we'll keep a lookout. Is the bottom in by the time we get to May, April, May? So somewhere in here is the bottom in. Has it already been printed, or is it in the next couple of weeks? We will find out. Certainly RSI at 37 there. Back to the weekly, we're coming off the bottom here. So I think it's looking pretty good. Now, some of the big catalysts that have helped us get this big downtrend have been, the copied forks, the Maker, DAO, the Compound, etc. Is that done? Well, CryptoSolve kind of indicates he thinks that's done. That there's not a lot left to be done in those protocols to exploit them, etc. maybe we might see some value. I don't know if LibertySwap's going to be doing something around Peacock. They certainly enjoy the PDI, sorry, not Peacock, around PDI. They certainly enjoy the LP going through. Remember, it's one of the top trading peers on Pulsechain. So it adds a lot, a decent amount of volume, 100,000 plus volume anyway. And it's got a big community as well. And so that certainly adds. Will they do anything with that around stable? I don't think so. We'll see whether they do some multi-collateral feature. I don't know whether they're going to do that. We'll see. They're certainly looking at their own wallet airdrop and Peacock. And so we'll have to see where they head in that direction there, because they're going out beyond Pulsechain, right? So they're trying to keep their brand and their value proposition very clean as they move forward there. So that's kind of that. Do we also have a lot of sacrifices? Well, look how far down we're in the Pulsechain, right? And the argument was that it was always the Hex sacrifices that used Hex to sacrifice that had big gains. That were the ones that were, dumping because they could do it profitably. But now we're down pretty damn low. So question mark whether they've got much power to go. We have seen validators leave, 1 or 2 validators leave over the last couple of weeks. So we've still got that downward momentum, but I'll be pretty close. Taking those three factors into account, the Pulsechain sacrifices, especially the Hex ones, the large validators. Some of those sacrifices maybe have either bought it or staked it and then selling, and then of course the exploits. Are those all done? Are we done with those? Have we got a chance to actually start to slowly recover? I think we will kind of want to inch the way up, like I said earlier, and then maybe a market maker, maybe Richard Hart, maybe somebody like that comes in and God modes us. Maybe the Hex God whale comes out of nowhere and we get a bit of special action before ETH even gets back up to 10K. We'll see. In any case, we could see more. We've obviously had a lot of inflation decisions done by Richard, and third-party protocols like PRVX and stuff, and the marketing is in play. We obviously got all this eHex getting dropped to Hex wallets, and that's one form of marketing. Seems to be having a little bit of impact there as well. Maybe that builds up over the weeks ahead. So there's a lot of ETH wallets to drop, right? I think it was at 4 million. I can't remember how many ETH wallets are there now, but they've been growing spectacularly on the old Ethereum. Was it more than 200 million? I can't remember now what the number is. Pretty big number. So yeah, lots of things happening in there. So a decent amount of possibilities there around the bottom being in this zone, and of course the RSI indicating that's possibly the case as well. So we'll see where we head from here. All right. People like selling at a loss and at the bottom, right? That's kind of a lot of people like doing that. It happens. That's how you form a bottom, right? It's often the case. But I think, April, May, looking pretty good for a turnaround, not only in the majors like ETH and Bitcoin. And of course, remember all that money that's being raised by the digital asset treasuries from Michael Saylor using Stretch, vampiring the credit markets, and then, of course, Tom Lee bringing over the finance, swapping finance from traditional markets to blockchain, and of course buying up Ethereum as well. All that money is helping to bring more money into circulating into potentially Ethereum, Pulsechain, and stuff like that. The other one that we also got going is that we could see some pretty major events happen. We saw great employment numbers. I'm expecting Trump to really do amazing with the U.S. economy from now on, like particularly showing up now on. All that investment last year, $18 to $20 trillion, is going to show up. And of course, we've got the AI boom. We've got great employment numbers, and I'm expecting that we could get some really good moves with the oil price possibly in the next couple of weeks. That's the most critical period right now in the next couple of weeks. That's we've still got volatility. Clarity Act coming in through May would be great. Hopefully that probability increases, certainly looking better than it was in some ways, and we can get that over the line. And then monetary printing by July. So the second half of the year could be set up really, really good. The only cautious thing we've got in the second half of the year is the midterms. Obviously, depending on whose analysis you're looking at, then whether it's Polymarket or actual analysts around the midterms to the House to the Democrats, and a marginal play for the Senate. I still have the Senate 48-52 in favor of the Republicans. Obviously, losing the House is a big deal because that's around the budget control, right? And has a lot of the committees. And we know how they like to dramatize all that. And that would be a really bad outcome for the Americans, right? Because the Democrats are all into corruption and managed decline, right? Then handing over power to the globalist entities, right, which are actually being starved at the moment by Trump, right? Trump is on a multi-pronged approach there to starve. That's why you got so many of the globalists trying to counter Trump's moves, right? And of course, their future is a dark one, right? And we don't want their future. Who wants to be enslaved to a bunch of elites? I don't know about you, but it's not something I'm keen on. We've got a lot of battles still ahead. Trump is working on a lot of stuff right now, dealing with a lot of the big issues that no one else wanted to deal with, right? But I'm pretty sure about you that I don't want any nuclear bomb turning up in LA or somewhere like that and suddenly going off. No one wants that. It's better to get it done now and have a much safer future, and then we can enjoy the big mad gains from crypto that we're expecting over the next couple of years to 10-year period. It's going to be pretty cool. So lots of cool stuff happening there. What else do we say? 2 hours and 10. I think we've had enough fun, have we? An hour and 20. 2 hour and 20 is probably is a decent stream. That's quite a bit, but we got 2 hours and 10. And I probably should have a drink. Not a cocktail, not a martini, although that would be nice on a very beautiful fantasy island. Actually, just funny, before I leave, I was watching people going in on Hawaii, the Disney Hotel. Have you guys seen it? Check it out. It's pretty like surreal fantasy, but they've decked everything out just like Disney, but like fantasy island. It really is crazy good. Probably expensive, but I don't know. Is Disney expensive? Yeah, they're pretty expensive. Yeah. All right. So I hope you guys enjoy it, and I'll catch you guys again on tomorrow's show. We've got a couple other comments in here. We've got Frank White says, my YouTube doesn't let me super chat, set up desktop. Well, super chat is not really good, Frank White, because 30% goes to YouTube. So it's not necessarily the best, but desktop, yeah, I might do. I've been talking about doing desktop. I just haven't got around to it. I have looked at it a couple of times and then not proceeded or anything, but I'll keep a lookout for that, Frank. I might check it out on your site. Diamond Hand's got the big thumb up. I appreciate that. We've got a huge crowd watching, so I really appreciate that, guys. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit the follow button. And, of course, enjoy. I might do another stream later on, and we'll see. A different topic, of course. And, of course, I'll do my usual stream tomorrow. What else am I going to say? I think that's it. Yeah, if you haven't joined Strategy Club, QR code's there. Just over $1 to join up. And, of course, links in the video description and pinned to the top of X. Other than that, take care, everybody. Onwards and upwards. Very excited for LibertySwap's month. This month's going to be truly glorious, I think. And I can't wait for all the surprises. They're working hard, that team. It's the Kraken on Pulsechain and really pushing the future. I think it's also lifting the game for a lot of other teams out there. We've got a lot of good teams, some of the world's best developers on Pulsechain and some of the best innovations. It really is the People's Chain, the DeFi chain, and the magical carpet ride chain, I'm sure, eventually as well, for those that are managing to hold on and pick up these mad volumes right now. All right, take care, everybody. Catch you on tomorrow's show. Bye for now.